This is Twin Stick Radio, episode 41 for the week of October 23rd, 2018. I'm one of your hosts, Trey Higgins, and I'm joined by Chris Rodriguez.
You said the date wrong.
What did I say?
It's the week of Red Dead. That's all that
Oh,
matters.
okay, I get it.
Literally doesn't make any difference.
And Justin T. Lopez.
It's the cowboy week.
Wow. Get closer to your mic. Why are you so far away from your mic?
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're literally supposed to kiss the mic.
It might be the angle of the pop filter.
No, he's pretty far away from his mic.
I'm really not.
Yeah, you are.
I'm really
if
not.
If I can fit a hand between your mouth and the mic without hitting something, you're too far away.
I saw in the King's Speech, he did this number right here, and then that's how far away he was from the mic.
What's the King's Speech?
A movie?
Oh, that's not true. You're supposed to kiss the mic.
This was a long time ago. Maybe the mics were different.
Hmm.
Hey, what was that? That was World War II, right?
Yes, I believe it was World War II.
This is NPR. My name is Justin T. Lopez.
Hi, welcome to my ASMR session.
Okay, so does ASMR work for anybody here?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Does it work for you?
What do you mean by work? Like
when you watch...
Do I enjoy it?
When you watch an ASMR video, do you get the...
Can somebody explain what an ASMR video is?
Basically, there is this thing that people say that they have where when they hear someone like whispering and talking in like a lower voice and kind of like over enunciating like P's and B's and S's, but also like certain noises like the sound of like scratching someone's scalp, it like relaxes them in a very extreme way.
So like the sounds of nature type stuff?
Kind of, but it's more specific than that. It has to do with like the kind of like how he said, like the very like kind of whispering. Just it does something for their senses to where they enjoy it.
What does ASMR mean?
I can look that up. I actually don't know what it means off the top of my head.
Audio sensory
Manipulation?
reality.
Oh,
I think you got the A and the S. Audio sensory meridian response.
Meridian response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm
idea.
sorry. Autonomous.
Oh, dang it.
Autonomous. Audio seems like it'd be so much better.
No, it doesn't sound pretentious enough.
That's fair.
But yeah,
No.
so you say it doesn't work for you?
Not really.
That was some
Does that
great
work?
ASMR right there.
Does that work for you?
Just jangling keys, just super obnoxious ASMR.
It's that's baby ASMR.
Yeah. No, but I do like the videos, like the oddly satisfying videos of like, I don't know, like squeezing, like foam objects or like scraping paint. I don't know. Some of that's kind
Like
of satisfying
the
to watch.
Oddly satisfying Twitter thing. Like that
Yeah.
makes me feel really relaxed. Or not Twitter, Reddit thing where there's just like...
Have you ever
doing
seen
random
that?
Things.
You guys are fucking weird.
It like just picture two objects and then they come together and it fits just perfectly, and that's just satisfying.
Why? It's called math.
I think it's because there's a certain amount of symmetry that you don't see in actual real life that you're seeing happen on a machine level that makes it satisfying. Like it's like it's kind of alien when you watch it.
Mm-hmm. It seems almost fake.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's good stuff.
I don't get
What
it.
do you enjoy, Chris? What do you like?
Star Wars. Burritos.
Pizza. I heard you really like pizza.
No, pizza's always a bad idea.
Cheese.
Well, what about
Lactose
wait,
lactose in
I have a
general.
question about that pizza tweet you sent out yesterday. You said pizza's always a bad idea, but when you guys went and bought that huge pizza,
That's when we had it, and it wasn't a bad idea.
I was gonna say you ate on that thing
Yep.
for like 5 days.
It
And you
wasn't a
weren't
bad
sick
idea at all.
So do you think it was just the buffet?
I don't know. It wasn't the buffet because we've had it once before too. I don't know what it is. I don't know what about pizza makes me sick because one day we'll have it and it doesn't make me sick, and the next day it will. I don't know if it's how much cheese I've intaked or intaken. I don't know if it's
Withdrawn.
I don't know if it's the overabundance of marinara sauce and the acidic value of it that makes my stomach hurt. I don't know what it is. I've never been able to like narrow down what about pizza can make me sick because it doesn't always happen.
I can't remember where I was at, but like last week I tried vegan cheese.
Gross.
It's not great.
So here's the thing about vegan cheese is that it does taste like cheese. The thing that throws it off and makes it gross is that it just the texture.
Sure, it's like when somebody says, "Oh, try this cauliflower pizza." It's the exact same, except it's not because it doesn't taste or feel like bread in your mouth.
I actually prefer cauliflower crust over dough crust.
Nope.
Never had it.
Don't do it.
It's really good.
But
It's
I like
just
cauliflower.
Don't do it.
Cauliflower? Cauliflower.
cauli. But
Calla.
I think most people say cauliflower.
It's like challah. It's like challah flour, but calla. Cauliflower.
Sometimes these things trip me up because I used to say like unisex, like it's like a unisex bathroom. And that's
What's
not
the right way to say it?
Unisex.
But there's no A there.
How do you
Sure,
how do you
it's
say unicorn?
It's not una.
Is
It's,
it
I
a
don't
unicorn?
think I mean,
it's not una. It's unisex. Unisex.
yeah, I think most people do say unicorn, unisex,
No, it's
cauliflower, or
unicorn.
cauliflower.
It's unicorn.
No, I'm saying most people say it that way.
That's because
But I don't think that that's correct.
right because most people aren't educated.
Yeah. Like I would say unisex is more accurate than unisex. You're literally creating
it's
a
more
sound
right.
that's not there.
Well,
I don't know.
it just depends on how you see it and how you look at the eye, right? Because E is something a sound an eye can make. Is not.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But
The English language sometimes it just is because the
Or
way it is.
Or you didn't pay attention in school.
No, but I'm saying I was wrong for saying
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't,
Oh,
so I don't
not
mean,
me.
I don't mean you in general. I just
universal
mean that
you.
hypothetical you.
Yeah, or people who say unisex just didn't pay attention in school.
Yeah.
and
They're the problem.
yeah, and I'll admit, like I probably say stuff like that all the time, but I wouldn't argue that it's correct. I would just say that's how I fucking say it.
Mm.
If you guys haven't listened to us before, we're a podcast about video games. We record weekly, and we are aiming to be up by Wednesday. Wednesday is my new goal. We
So
start
tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a good goal.
Yes. If you guys haven't listened to us before, we start the show with the same segment every single week. Justin, what are you playing?
I'm still playing Spider-Man because I had set a goal. I was like, I'm going to platinum this.
You
before...
still haven't platinum Spider-Man?
I don't have much time.
That's not true,
That is true.
dude. I've seen people platinum Spider-Man in like 15 hours.
That's not true.
Okay.
There's literally no way
How is there no way?
because the story's longer than 15 hours.
Once I beat the story, it was like maybe 3 or 4 hours, and I platinumed it.
Okay.
I mean, I
How
also
long is
had
the
all the
story?
collectibles. I would say it's probably, if you're kind of going at it at, I would say it's probably 22 hours.
So
Ish.
27 hours of platinum Spider-Man, less than 30.
Okay. And I am almost done with it. I just have to wait for like one or two more crimes to pop up. And then I'll be good. But I wanted to platinum it before the DLC came out. And that
you
came
failed.
out today.
Yep, and you failed at it.
I did fail.
Oh,
Failed
I didn't
hard.
realize it came out today.
Yeah.
Still not. I mean, Rent's coming up, and then Red Dead comes out on Friday. So Rent is first, then Red Dead, and then the DLC at some point.
Those are good priorities.
Yeah. Yep.
It'd be a little backwards if Red Dead was first.
I actually have Rent early for once. Like I had Rent on like Saturday. That never happens. I never have Rent like 10 days early.
Just don't spend it.
Well, I'm not going to. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal because I work this weekend and then I get a paycheck on the 31st.
See, so it's not a huge deal. So what if he does spend it?
No, I'm not going to, but I feel like I'm going to have like,
Right.
Yeah, that's
an abundance of money.
That's the dangerous
yeah,
thinking.
that is 100% the dangerous thing. It's
Like,
exactly what you
I
just
got
said.
money
I'm not
early.
gonna spend
I'm just
it.
gonna spend it.
I'm not
I don't
talking
need-
about you. I'm talking
Oh.
about his statement.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, I don't think you'd do that. I think you're smarter than that.
I just don't. You get to that point when you're like in your mid 20s where you're like, I'm tired of like having to scramble to pay shit.
That's fair.
So like the fact that it's sitting in my account, it just makes me feel more comfortable than than anything else.
Yeah, I had to consult Chris this week because Red Dead's coming out this week, and I still really do want to get Destiny 2 so that way I can play with you guys. And Chris and I talked about it on I think Thursday, and he was going to be pretty busy this weekend, and so was I. But I messaged him I think yesterday, and I was like, Chris, I needed another adult's opinion. Should I get Destiny 2 right now?
I feel like my
Even
answer
though,
didn't help in any way, shape, or form.
It didn't though.
Yeah, I don't think it helped at
And
all.
I was like, even though Red Dead's coming out this weekend, and I know I'm going to get that, and he's like, well, if you get it, I'll play with you.
no,
but-
the answer was Destiny's a game that it doesn't matter when you play it because it doesn't. It just
Right.
does not matter
It'll be
whatsoever.
there.
So if you got it yesterday, you would still play it for 3 days, and that's okay. Or if you get it next Monday, you're still going to play it. It's not a big deal,
Yeah.
right? It's just a matter of like, is it financially viable for you as a person to spend over $100 on video games in 1 week?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Which ultimately I decided, no. I'll just
And
settle
ultimately,
for Red
I decided that I probably going to get the ultimate edition of Red Dead, and it's $100.
Well, with the way that you play games, though, that makes sense because you'll play Red Dead and you'll probably get a good 2 or 3 months out of that. But I don't see you in the near future picking anything else up except for Kingdom Hearts. So,
Yeah.
like,
which is January.
you have those games that you like, Rocket League and Overwatch, that you can make time for. You could totally fit Destiny there once you kind of get through the games that you really want to play.
That's true, especially since I really haven't played Overwatch very much lately, and Rocket League, honestly.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
What have you done to me?
I've reformed you to a better person and a better gamer.
I am your warlock. Chris, what have you been playing?
Shit ton of Assassin's Creed.
Are you done with it yet?
Yeah, I finished it last night. Ask me how long it took me to finish the story.
How long did it take you?
85 hours to finally get all the way through the 4 main plots of Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I know people who finished it in 15.
There is no way. That one is definitely not true.
I think even like trophy achievement hunter people said about 50 hours for the main story. That's people who like professionally go through games really fast. But it took me 80,
What a career.
Took me 85 hours to finally finish the 4 main plots of Assassin's Creed.
That's impressive. And I'm assuming there's still a lot more to do.
Nope.
To get. Did you platinum it? Like you're
I'm
done?
2 trophies away from platinuming it.
What do you have to do?
I have to find all the underwater locations, which I think I'm like 2 or 3 away because I was trying to do it, but then Everett's all, "Hey, I'm at the studio early." It's like, "Oh fuck, fine." And then I need to finish Hippocrates' side quest chain, but it's not popping. It's not popping where it should be popping, and internet says it's glitched. So I may not get that platinum before Red Dead because of a glitch, which is super annoying.
You don't think they would fix that?
They will.
Oh,
They will,
I mean,
but
I guess
they will,
3
but yeah,
months.
it's every week when
Didn't
they
dawn on me how
push
soon it was,
patches.
too.
Yeah, it's every week when games push patches,
Yeah.
and it's usually on a Tuesday, and it didn't get patched this past Tuesday, so yeah, I may not get the platinum beforehand, unless it's something that will randomly come up for no reason whatsoever, which I hopefully that happens, because I would very much like to platinum this game before, because I'm at 96% right now. And that's annoying when you're like at 90-something% and you can't platinum it because of a glitch. Annoys the shit out of me. Because I'm not keeping Assassin's Creed this week either.
What do you mean?
I'm just gonna trade it in. Just get some extra money off Red Dead.
Oh. That makes sense, especially since you decided that you're going
Yeah,
to
I
do
want,
the.
I want that. I want that whole. It's Rockstar, dude. I want all that extra digital shit that they're talking about.
Comes with GTA money too, right?
I don't know.
I think it-
sure,
I think it does.
Sure, that's cool. No, it like comes with online shit for November, and it comes with like a bunch of just cool stuff.
I think you get
bonus missions, a horse, like a new
gun.
outfit, some new gun, some actual like in-game something to modify. I don't know what modifying characters or anything looks like, but yeah, it's Rockstar. I like that shit. And if I have the extra money, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to keep Assassin's Creed because every time I turn that game on, it's like a chore. Wasn't bad, just a chore.
I figured you would have kept it at least for the DLC.
By the time the DLC comes out, it'll be $40. Just pick it
Just
up
gonna
again.
go rebuy it?
Just pick it up again.
I don't know about that. Origins is still fucking expensive.
Is it?
Yeah, it's still $49.
No, it's not. Let's find out. I believe you.
I'm willing to be wrong, but I was
No,
going to
but
buy
I
it
also
like a
believe
week
you.
ago, and I could not find it for a good price anywhere.
Speaking of trading in games, yesterday I was looking at what games I have that I could possibly trade in. I looked at trading in Dying Light. It like GameStop, I think said, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it said it had like a trade-in value of like $23, and this was just the regular Dying Light, not like any game of the year, like later, like edition.
It may have changed in the last couple of days, but AC Origins is $35 at GameStop.
Oh, cool. That's good.
But that's
Yeah.
That's a year-old game for $35.
Yeah.
So
$23. Well, I wonder
what's 23? I'm sorry.
It's
That's
like
an entire
for Dying
conversation.
Light.
the traded
You
value.
can get 23 for Dying Light
Yeah, I think that might have been.
Bullshit.
Let me look it up right now while we talk.
because fucking
You talk, I'll look it up.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I just checked today is trading it for $27.
Well, that's
What
why.
the fuck?
That's why I was surprised. I think it was 23. I could be wrong.
That's bullshit, dude.
I don't know.
That's super
for
bullshit.
Xbox One.
Yes, for Xbox One, and there's like a couple of ones. It's just Dying Light.
This is,
no,
I mean, it's not a fucking the Dying Light. Is
There
not
was like
it's not a rare game.
no.
It's not like highly sought after. What the fuck, man?
It might not be 23.
On Xbox One,
Yeah,
regular version,
yeah.
$385.
Yeah,
What did I look at that was $23?
I have no fucking clue.
The
Maybe the ultimate definitive edition with all the shit in it.
the enhanced edition is $9.99.
What did you look at?
$9.90?
Maybe it was just a yesterday only special.
Maybe it's the actual price of the game that you were looking at.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
Well,
because I want to get that.
that sounds about right.
But ultimately, I'd like to get that ultimate edition. And
Ultimate.
if you buy it from GameStop, all Red Dead Redemption like purchases at GameStop, you get like a $10 reward certificate. So that's $10 off technically, and then I'll put Turner and Assassin's Creed, which is an extra $30. So it'll take a $100 game back down to normal $60 price. So
There you go. Might as well get the. Might as well. Yeah.
plus a cool steel book.
The ultimate one comes with that. Is that the highest tier, or is there one
yeah,
above
no,
that?
it's $100. It's the highest one. Rockstar doesn't really do. Oh yeah, they do. They do GTA weird collector's editions. Because I have the GTA 4 collector's
Honestly,
edition.
Or like the ones that come with like duffel bags.
No,
and
GTA
stuff?
5 did not come with a
I
special edition.
honestly can't remember because Rockstar releases games so rarely. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how they do it.
GTA 4 100% came with one because I have it, and it came with like a lockbox.
Where'd you get the GTA bag that you carry the minis in from? Was that from that?
GTA 4, yeah. I don't know if they did one for GTA 5. I feel like they did not. I feel like there was not a. Oh, it also came with that hat. Remember that hat that that customer from GameStop wore all the time? Los
Yeah.
Santos hat? That was GTA 4.
No, that'd be 5.
Oh, maybe
Los,
not.
Yeah,
Los
that
Santos
was-
would be 5.
Oh, yeah, you're 100%. So there had to have been a collector's edition for GTA 5.
The show where we like Google stuff.
Yeah.
I'm super curious about all this shit.
Well, it's true. Rockstar comes out with games so super rarely that it's really hard to remember if there was a collector's edition. Like, I seriously doubt there was a collector's edition for Red Dead, the
honestly-
original.
I'm surprised they wouldn't
Okay.
do something more for Red Dead 2. Though.
So I think there is like a crazy ass collector's thing that you can buy, but it doesn't come with the game. It's just like a Red Dead collector's item.
Okay, that's interesting. Did you see the Devil May Cry Ultimate Collector's thing? They're selling it in, I think, Japan. But there's an $8,000 Devil May Cry.
Does it come with an actual working gun blade thingy?
All it does is it comes with the jacket that he wears.
Okay.
But it's $8,000?
$8,000 for that jacket.
Jesus Christ.
So there was a special edition of the game which came with a map and a bunch of digital stuff.
Oh, that's another thing the Red Dead one comes with. It comes with a map. It comes with a
then-
cool, like,
I think all
Nope.
rock. No,
just like not this one. It's like a rolled map.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what it
gotcha.
was for
Yeah.
the special edition. The collector's edition comes with the security deposit bag with logo key.
See, that I don't have that one.
That's not what that bag is?
No, that bag came in the lockbox from GTA 4.
It comes with the 950 snapback cap.
Yep. I now that you're saying all this, I remember opening them up at.
Custom characters
GameStop.
for Grand Theft Auto Online, unique vehicles and garage property, and that's about
I
it.
remember all that.
But they never released a collector's or special edition for PS4. I think maybe that was
maybe
it.
that's why. Sure,
I think
sure,
it was
sure.
just the flat game.
I was about to say something. What were you literally just talking about before Trade told us to collector shit?
Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry.
$8,000 jacket.
Oh, no, I don't. So there is. This is not video game related, but there is a platinum edition for Dragon D&D's Waterdeep Dragon Heist. There's a platinum edition that comes with all the props the players would find in game in real life. So
In
everything.
minis or
And 44 different minis
Okay.
that all or 24 different minis that encompass. No, not in minis. It literally comes if you investigate something in this game and you find a necklace this $500 Platinum Edition actually comes with the physical necklace that the DM can give the players.
It's on. This is gonna sound weird. It's only $500.
That's a lot of fucking money. $500, dude. That's a lot of fucking money.
I can like make my own props.
That's fair.
For
Yeah,
less than that.
Because they're probably not very high quality.
No,
So-
they're very high quality. Like the minis are whiz kids. Like they're great. Everything I've seen in that whole thing is amazing, and I would love to have it, but I'm not going to pay $500 for that. It's a lot of fucking money, but it's super
start
cool.
a GoFundMe.
But it's super fucking cool.
Go fund me so I can go buy this thing.
People have started GoFundMe's and shit for less.
You're not
Yep.
wrong.
Oh, hey Trey, what are you playing?
I was getting really sad.
I was like, I mean, I can ask him.
I don't think I played Destiny once this week.
I played a shit ton of Destiny. That's pretty much all I played
On
this
PC
week.
or PS4?
Both.
How come how come you're dark then?
He's hid himself from you.
It's been a rough week for me, and I didn't want want certain people to see me.
Ridiculous excuse.
It's been a rough week. I didn't want certain people to see me and come and try to play games with me. And anyway, I'm like 3.
I had nobody to play Destiny with. That's why I didn't play this week. Like literally nobody to play with.
Also, I was playing at weird times too. I bet you were in bed when I was playing.
Possibly.
Probably.
I'm like 3 fractured souls away from getting my origin story reskin.
I am not. Because I didn't have anybody to play Destiny with.
And that's about it. I mean, it's Destiny. It's fun. I'm having a good time. Honestly, something I found though, just a small observation, and then we can move on to the news because we have a shit ton of news this week. The community on PC is way more friendly than the console, which is weird to say.
I don't believe that for a second.
I was like playing Strikes for like 2 or 3 hours the other day. Didn't have one person that AFK'd.
That's not being friendly.
That's pretty fucking friendly.
No, that's not being friendly.
It's like gamersmanship.
Being friendly is playing on PC and not referring to everybody on console as inferior players and scrubs. And the fact
Do
that
people
Destiny,
really mean that though?
Oh, of course they do.
I think that's just a meme.
Well,
now.
I think part of what
if it's on Reddit, they mean it. Like it's fucking Reddit.
I think part of what helps though is that the text chat, you don't automatically join it. It's just like the voice chat. Like you have to opt into it. So I don't think a lot of people opt into it. So you're not seeing like the vapid shit in chat. But I just we were doing escalation protocol because I was grinding it up for my sleeper simulant, and so like people started joining the chat because we were like fucking it up. And the guy was like, "Hey, I don't know if you guys know the mechanics, but this is where the enemies that recharge the boss come from, and this is about how often they come. I just want to let you guys know because we're really struggling with this final boss." And I'm like, "Holy shit!" Now you can't really do that on console, but
Sure, but if you pay attention, people try to tell you on console.
Yeah.
Just in their own like memeable ways. Like I taught somebody how to he was definitely a noob in Destiny, and I taught him how to do the heroic event for the Blights on PS4 just by like getting his attention. And I taught him how to do it. Like it's
Short change hero waves at you.
It's not my name on PS4.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's definitely doable, and I just do not believe that the PC community is better than console.
I was definitely a lot of the frustrations that I have with other players and Destiny on console and my time playing it on PC over this last week. I haven't had any of those issues. I haven't had people like fall out of matches like in Gambit. Sure, there are people that suck at Gambit, but it's not like anyone's like waiting next to the portal to jump in. It just
Well, that's because we're also past the whole like, oh, I need to invade. We're past all that shit.
no,
Right?
I not on console.
Sure
I played
we
like
are.
5 matches on console this week, and in 2 of those matches, there were people that were just literally standing in front of the portal, literally just standing in front of the portal. It was so fucking annoying.
It's very annoying. That's why I don't play Gambit solo at all.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. Period.
You can play with Rich.
He's always dark too.
Man.
Literally, he says he plays Destiny every day,
Uh-huh.
and I never see him on. Everybody's always dark.
Maybe it's you.
Maybe it is me. I don't know. It's really fucking annoying that everybody's dark and there's nobody to play Destiny with.
Maybe your guardian like smells really bad,
Possibly.
and everyone's like, "Oh no."
Possibly. Just annoying. It's a good game. Wish I had somebody to play it with.
I don't know. People just need to text. Like, I'm not saying that I'm any less guilty than anyone else.
Yeah,
but
you never text. I use our text thread. I use our little clan text thread every weekend, really. It's like, hey, is anybody going to be on this weekend? No responses whatsoever. That's 7 people in a thread. Nobody responds to it. Ever.
Damn.
What are you going to do?
Forever alone.
Yeah, just fucking play Assassin's Creed and play Red Dead. Go back to my fucking introverted single-player ways.
You guys ready to talk about the news?
I don't know. I'm having fun listening to Chris wallow.
Red Dead Redemption 2 will be shipping with 2 discs for its physical version on Xbox One and PS4. One disc is the data disc, which will install the game on your console. The other game disc is the play disc. Once the data is installed, you'll use a play disc in order to play the game. Rockstar, Sony, and Microsoft have yet to comment, but it seems that the size of the game, 99 gigabytes on PS4 and 107 gigabytes on Xbox One, may be the culprit, as dual-layer Blu-ray discs can only hold 50 gigabytes of data. It appears as though there may be a shortage of copies of the physical edition of Red Dead Redemption 2, as many independent game stores have announced that they won't get the game until the first week of November, and a couple of online retailers have reported to be delaying orders.
You dropped your phone in disgust.
That's a lot of hard drive space, man.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I already had, like, literally for Destiny, because their updates are the dumbest updates in the world on PS4. They literally need the entirety of Destiny to be available for an update. An update.
Yeah.
So I literally had to fucking delete another game off my hard drive to update Destiny this week. I have 4 games on my hard drive total on PS4 right now. 4.
It's a constant cycle, especially on Xbox One.
4.
Well, I mean, and once Red Dead comes, that's going to take up...
Sure, I mean, Assassin's
Creed... It's going to be like
Creed,
half of your...
Yeah, Assassin's Creed's going to be off of there for sure once Red Dead comes out. But like, I don't want to delete the Division. I don't want to delete Kingdom Hearts because Whitney still plays it. It's like, but if Destiny's going to take up 60 gigs and every update they still need another free 60 gigs, so I consistently have to have 60 gigs free on my hard drive just to update Destiny. This is fucking ridiculous, man. And I should not have to go out and buy a $100 fucking external hard drive to remedy all of this.
Yeah, I agree. It's a massive game. I think that I think that there are a lot of people out there that are like, oh man, Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably selling so well because all of these retailers are having problems getting a hold of copies. I saw these 2 news items around the same time because I was scrolling through news feeds looking at stuff. I really think that part of the reason why they're having trouble shipping this game is because it has 2 discs.
That are literally they never announced when it went gold. It might have gone gold 3 weeks ago.
That's true.
And they didn't have enough time to print a shit ton of copies like normal.
That's true.
Plus Fallout 76 comes out in fucking 3 weeks. 4 weeks.
Do we know how big that's going to be yet?
No, but it's going to be big enough that I'm going to have to delete something else on my PlayStation to keep Destiny, Red Dead, and Fallout on it. Stupid, man.
Yep. The
Just
ultimate.
have a hard drive dedicated to just one game, and that's it.
Well, I shouldn't have to do that, though. Is my point.
No,
I shouldn't
I'm
have
saying,
to go.
but that's the point. That's where we're
sure.
getting.
Yeah, it seems like it, right? You unplug hard drives. You have like a stack of hard drives next to your PlayStation. Those are your games.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Is it though?
Let's just go back to instead of discs, just you purchase a hard drive and that has the game on
I think a lot of people have forgotten that you can swap out the internal hard drive.
Yeah, you can. But I shouldn't have to do
on
that.
PS4.
But I shouldn't have to do that.
I know.
That's I understand I'm an early adopter, so I still only have a 500 gig hard drive. It's a year 1 PlayStation, the Destiny PlayStation. Was it year
No,
1 or
yours
year
is
2?
Taken King, so that's year 3.
Year 3. Well, year 3
2014,
PlayStation.
15, 16. No, 15.
It's year 2 PlayStation.
I'm sorry, 13, 14,
There
15.
you go. Yeah, okay. So I've got a year 2/3 PlayStation.
Yeah, 2.5.
It was before the 1 terabyte hard drives, which are basically standard now on all PS4s. But it's still like, because I'm an early adopter, doesn't mean that I should have to deal with this shit. You know what I mean?
I think the biggest problem to me is the price of these consoles, because I feel like this was less of a problem because the same thing really happened in towards the end of the 360 life cycle, right?
Sure.
Like where games got really big, and the starting consoles you had to buy a hard
it
drive.
was a 20
to do
gig
it.
hard drive. Yeah.
But I feel like the consoles were more affordable, so like upgrading to a slim
Sure.
wasn't such a drastic thing.
Upgrading to a slim was maybe 60% more than just buying a bigger hard drive.
Yeah, especially if you went and traded it in. It was just like
right.
which
you can't do.
traded
You
in your own
can't.
console.
I can't take an internal hard drive out of my PS4, go trade it in at GameStop and get a better one. I can't do that because it's not. You just can't do that. And you're right. The problem still existed there, except it was easier to remedy, and it was a lot cheaper to remedy as well.
Whereas now you're like, oh, I got to jump $300
For
just
a new,
to
for
get
another
a terabyte hard drive.
Exactly. Well, you can get a terabyte but if it's compatible with the PS4 is the question.
Well,
right?
and that's the other thing about external hard drives is I feel like, don't they not work the same way on PS4 as they do on Xbox?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
I thought that maybe it's solid state drives or something like that, where one of them can like run games off the solid state easier than the other. And I want to say it's Xbox.
I think Xbox has an easier time doing that.
I would have just assumed that, like, right, because there's a bunch of companies that make the PS4 and Xbox One hard drives, and that's what you go buy. I don't know if I can go to Best Buy and buy a $60 Seagate 1 terabyte hard drive that I would normally plug into my PC and have it work on a PS4. I don't know if that works.
Yeah, I don't know if that works either.
Yeah, because you can get a 1 terabyte hard drive for $60. It's a Seagate, and it's not.
How much can you get an internal one for? Because I gave you the internal one.
Yeah, that internal one was like $80, but that's a computer hard drive. I don't think it's the same.
It is the same.
It is.
Is the exact same? Mm-hmm. Oh, see, I don't know any of that.
And it's more to do with the connections rather than a hard drive.
Sure. But like,
Ev says that has more to do with the connections. Than
but
the hard drive itself.
but external wise, if anybody's listening to this, you can tweet at us. Can you buy a regular hard drive that you would get on your PC and plug it into a PS4 and store games on it? Because that would be great. Because
whenever I was looking at getting an external hard drive for my Xbox, I remember stumbling upon an article that said if you were using it, you could only put games on it. So like if you're using it for like holding like videos or pictures or something like as a hard drive, and you also used it to hold games, it couldn't separate the data.
Okay, so the hard drive does have to be formatted to a specific thing for the consoles.
For Xbox, it partitions it actually.
Oh,
so Xbox
okay.
Partition, and then there's whatever partition.
Whatever else is on there. So I don't know what PS4 does. PS4, sometimes you have to format hard drives per operating system. So I don't know if PS4 you have to do that, or these PS4 branded ones are already ready to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just the whole point of it is it's just dumb that early adopters have to deal with this shit.
That's what I liked about the 360. I just pop the hard drive off. Like, all right, I'm going to my friend's house.
Talk about fucking proprietary bullshit.
Sure.
Like those things were like, even the original Xbox hard drives were still pretty expensive, like as the PS3 and Xbox One are coming out, because it's such fucking bullshit.
Yep.
This is a short one because I actually didn't read any of the spoilers or see anything, so I don't know what the specific stuff is, but I figured I should mention it. In other Red Dead news, several leaks have sprung about the game from various sources that already have access to it.
Yeah, I only saw a 24-second clip. A 24-second clip ended up on Reset Era.
I know one of them was about the map.
I didn't see that one.
I saw the map.
This one was literally just the player getting off of his horse at a robber. It looked like somebody was holding somebody up on the side of the road, and it was 24 seconds of a gun shootout. Mm-hmm. But I literally think the only reason it ended up was because of, dude, this game's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Like, this game looks so fucking good. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how, and I don't mean like, oh, this game's hyped so good. I mean, it literally looks gorgeous.
This game is hyped so good.
Yeah, that's not what I mean. Like, it doesn't look good.
Such hype.
It doesn't look good as in, oh, this is going to be real fun to play. It just, that game looks gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Whatever filters and shit they have on that game just makes it look amazing. It's crazy how good that game looks on our current gen consoles.
I'm excited for it, especially because I'm pretty sure we're getting a 4K TV too, so I think it'll look even better.
Why would you pay for a 4K? Oh, I guess they're cheap.
I'm not paying for it. My dad's getting it for me.
Oh, wow.
Well,
damn,
because spoiled.
That'd be nice.
As much fun as it is to talk about the expensive things your dad's buying for you. With Grand Theft Auto 5, though, it was really pretty on Xbox 360, and at least in single player, that game is still pretty to this day.
Yeah, but that was the last year of the cycle, wasn't it?
Sure, but the fact that they got it to look so pretty on a 360,
sure,
and the fact that so many years later, 5 years later, it still looks so good.
Sure, but
at least in single player mode.
Sure, but this is, I mean, it's almost like comparing apples to oranges.
I'm not comparing. I'm supporting the fact that, like, it's not surprising that Red Dead looks good.
But it is, because I feel like if anybody was going to hit the ceiling, it would have been Rockstar. And if they hit the ceiling with still 2 years left in the development for PS4, then it's not bad. It's just maybe a little disappointing. Does that make sense? Not necessarily. Like I said, it's not bad. It may just be a little disappointing if the ceiling's already been hit. Which, again,
but you're saying they exceeded that, or you're saying this is the ceiling?
I don't know if this is the ceiling because there's no way to know what's going to come out in 2020 at the end of PS4's life cycle.
But you'd be disappointed if this was? I mean, sure, it's still somewhat early on, or it's not the end of the life cycle just yet. Again, but if it looks that good,
again, it gets a little disappointing that the ceiling's already been hit with still 2 years left in a console life cycle. Usually, ceilings are hit literally the last 6 months of a console life cycle. So if we're already getting the most out of the PS4 that we possibly can in a Rockstar game, then cool, I guess. Like I said, it's not a big deal. It's a little disappointing, but it's like, well, meh. You know what I mean? So no,
Yeah.
I'm not disappointed. It's just like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
I on one hand I find myself agreeing with you. On the other hand, part of me is like, the ceiling must have come down a little bit because of how big this game is, right?
I don't know.
So
It's not. I don't think it's as big as
I feel like
Assassin's.
with as horizontally wide as it is, the ceiling probably is a little bit lower than what someone with a super vertical.
I have
game would
no
have.
clue how big this game is because I didn't see the map. But Assassin's Creed Origins is the biggest game I've ever seen and or played ever.
And that game was beautiful.
And sure, but it's nowhere near as good looking as this footage I saw from Red Dead.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Sure, yeah. So
still looks really good, like I told you when you were playing it that one
So
day.
like if Red Dead's as big as Assassin's Creed Odyssey, then yeah, I think it's a tech marvel for this generation. But if it's the size of Red Dead 1, which I doubt it is, I'm sure it's maybe double the size, right? Red Dead 2, whatever. It's still good tech. It's still fucking impressive how good this game looks.
I saw the leaked map, and the problem with it, at least for me, was I couldn't tell how big. Like I saw the map, and I was like, but there was nothing to compare it to.
Oh,
you know,
you're not talking end game. You're talking like that little colored map that came out a few days ago. Yeah. It was like a little colored map, and it's like showing the sections of all of the game, and it's like some of them were labeled like purple and some were orange, and there was a key on the side.
I think this was in game.
Oh,
from what I remember.
Okay, I haven't seen that one. I saw that. What I was talking about. It looked small, but that doesn't mean it is.
Was it like a weird shape? Like it wasn't like a square. It kind of had.
Yeah, it kind of looked like.
Like it showed like its fold. Was it that one?
No.
So then maybe it was in game.
I'm literally describing exactly what I saw. Is it what you saw?
I don't know.
Was it a map, and every section of the game was a different color?
No.
Okay.
The conversation went so
Jesus
far.
Christ.
I mean, there's labels on a map,
All right. We got cartographer Justin on the case. All right, this is a long one. According to Kotaku, the UK-based Rockstar Lincoln Studios has changed their policy on overtime from mandatory to voluntary. 6 sources told Kotaku that overtime was never mandatory, but it was a policy that involved requesting and scheduling by bosses, though employees could say no. A QA tester from Lincoln went to Reddit on Friday to discuss his experience with overtime, as well as to confirm the policy change. And I just want to say, because I didn't put this on here, the way that he's describing it seems to contradict what those 6 employees told Kotaku. Quote, he or she, I don't know what they are. Quote,
it doesn't matter, Trey.
If we are not able to work overtime on a certain day without a good reason, you have to make it up on another day. This usually means that if you want a full weekend off, that you will have to work a double weekend to make up for it. We had a big meeting today where it was announced that overtime going forward will be entirely optional. So if we want to work the extra hours and earn extra money, and then in parentheses, as well as make yourself look better for progression, then we can do. This is a direct quote from the thing. So I like typos that aren't mine. But there is no longer a rule making us do it. This is huge for us here in Lincoln, as many of us haven't been able to take full weekends without paying for it in a long time. And it's a giant step forward in making crunch less of a hell to deal with. End quote. So yeah.
I just whatever. I don't understand the freaking backlash for working.
That's what I was going to say. I'm surprised how I understood the initial outlash against this. I'm surprised it's still being talked about.
Yeah, To me, that doesn't sound like not a normal job.
In my experience, working for Buc-ee's, which is open 24/7, and then my experience with working at my current place, overtime is a thing that's usually offered because it's typically needed for the job, but no one is forced or scheduled into overtime. It's something that you can opt into as an employee, and there are always people that will opt into it because they want the extra money. And the funny thing about these two places of employment is that up until recently, one of them offered overtime, but they didn't have to pay time and a half because of a technicality with state rules of employment, whereas Buc-ee's did do time and a half. So there were people that were still willing to work 60 hours a week when they're not getting any extra compensation for it. So to me, I think that's a good step forward for a big video game studio to allow people to opt into doing it, because that's how I think it works in regular life.
Sure. I've never developed a video game before, so I don't know what that contract says. I don't know if 40-hour work weeks are normal in video games. I just don't know. I don't know what's normal. Like Buc-ee's and your current employer, that's all normal. That's a normal job, just normal. And that's not saying they're. Sorry, that may sound bad. I'm not saying they're just like petty normal, right? But they're just a normal job. I don't know what a video game developer looks like. I don't know. To me, that's not a normal job, right? That's not something that you sign up for a normal 40-hour work week. That's not normal to me. That's taking hell, even like a video production job at bigger places. It's like you're not signing up for just a normal 40-hour work week. That's not. You're going to go make a movie. You're not signing up for 40-hour work week. Yeah. That's not.
Well, you're. That's
sure. Yeah, it is about deadlines.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like it's different. I feel like it's different whenever you're just working and you're doing your job and then you're getting paid and you get to go home. Whereas this, it's like you're making a product that you agreed to have out on a certain day.
Well, that your bosses agreed to have out on a certain day.
Right, but you signed a contract to work for those bosses. Right.
Sure.
And they can't just let you continuously like you did your 40 hours, go
sure
home.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know what that
there has to be some sort of
accountability. I've never done this, so I don't know what that looks like, but it just doesn't seem like video game development is a normal job. And if you went into it thinking like you were going to work 40 hours a week and that was it, then you might have not you might have gotten into the wrong industry.
But to me, I think the argument changes from expecting to work a 40-hour work week to being expected to work a 60-hour work week, to the point where if you want a full weekend off, you have to work 2 weekends in a row, full-time days.
Sure, but they also didn't. They said if we want a full weekend off, we have to do this, but they didn't make mention if we have Wednesday off. You have Wednesday and Sunday off.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that's what I mean. There's just a lot of things that we don't know.
To me, it sounds like it's a Monday through Friday job. That was kind of the impression I got from the post.
Sure, maybe, but without explicitly saying like, hey, if we want full weekends off, sure, you have to make up for it on another weekend, but that also doesn't mean they also have like a Thursday off or a Wednesday off or something like that.
I just feel like it's as Rockstar, what do they do whenever their employees are like, no, we only want to work 40 hours a week? It's like, okay, but the game is due on this day.
They probably just hired from the multitude of people wanting to get into this industry.
Right.
I mean, I think the bigger... This is shit that happens in the acting world a lot, right? But there is a specific group that helps protect actors and make sure that they're getting compensated fairly for the shit that they're doing.
Yeah, sure.
There's no sort of protection like that in the video game industry. If someone makes you work 60-hour weeks and you get fucking burnt out, like that's a big deal, and that sucks.
That's true.
And there's no one protecting you and making sure that you're being compensated fairly for it.
Sure.
Like, how many of these people are signing contracts for 40-hour a week? Because that's pretty typical. That's pretty much a working week in the United States.
Yeah, but not
40-hour
not
weeks,
in a creative job.
For 40-hour weeks for a salary where they're being compensated for that, but they're not being compensated for the extra time, because that happens too.
Well, I think if you're getting salary, then overtime's not ever a question. Like if overtime is for hourly pay.
Well, and that's my point, is that like if you're getting paid a salary, if you are an artist, right?
Sure.
And you're getting paid a flat salary, which a lot of people in the gaming industry are paid salaries.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And you're working multiple 60-hour weeks in a row on a 40-hour week contract, you're not being compensated for those extra 20 hours a week.
Sure, of course. I
that's an issue.
I completely agree with you with that, but that's not what anybody's saying. I completely agree with you, but that's not what any of this is saying.
Well, but we're
we're
specifically talking about the hours.
Yeah,
and the expectation of a 40-hour work week. All
Right,
of these
but-
things are things that you have to take into account about whether or not that's fair.
Right, but we don't know if they sign a contract for a 40-hour work week. That's the whole point. While I 100% agree with you, and I 100% agree with the idea of like, hey, we need to be compensated correctly for overtime. I 100% agree with it. We just don't know what these contracts look like. So it's really hard to just assume that, they're only supposed to be working 40 hours.
Well,
Right.
I think
just because that's what we do doesn't
Right.
mean
I
that's-
think it's easier to assume it. I really don't want to give up on this point because I think it's important. I think it's easier to assume it than to not assume it because 40-hour work weeks are standard across pretty much every industry in the United States.
Almost every industry.
It's more standard than not standard.
Sure, but
Like 80 versus 20.
Sure, but again, this isn't a standard job. Jobs with like deadlines like this aren't standard jobs. They're not. I show up and I do my 8 hours today and then I go home. I show up and I do this and I put all my shit into my computer and then I go home. It's not that. It's a creative job. It's something where there's a specific deadline that you need to meet. And again, it's all assumption. So but again, I 100% agree with you.
Well, I think you run into this problem too with. I think it does lend itself mainly to creative jobs. But if you were a freelance graphic designer, and someone's like, "Hey, can you make this logo for me?" and you just give them like a flat rate, basically your salary. Like, yes, I'll make it for 50 hours. If you come across problems and it takes you a lot longer, it's not their fault that you agreed to only get paid $50 for this thing.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I feel like that's probably what's happening.
Maybe.
They probably signed up for, here's your salary to make this game.
Possibly.
And if it's taking you longer, then that's kind of
Sure.
I don't know.
However, this is good. I'm glad they're going to get compensated for overtime. They should. Everybody should.
As of October 17th, 2018, the quote "Go Outside" achievement in the Stanley Parable can now be unlocked through legitimate means. The achievement requires players to not play the game for 5 years, meaning that players need to take a 5-year break from the game before returning to it. To celebrate the news, the game's lead writer tweeted about it on the game's 5-year anniversary.
What? What is this? What is this? What's the Stanley Parable? What is this?
A Stanley Parable is one of like kind of the first super popular walking simulators.
It's the anti-game.
It's
Anti-game.
the anti-game, according to Ev. Yeah, so basically, like, it only takes a couple hours to complete. So a lot of people, like, they beat it on the... if you played it on the day it came out, you beat it that day, and then you have to wait 5 years to turn the game on again.
And the game came out in 2013?
2013.
So on Xbox 360, PS3?
It's just Steam.
launch? Oh, PC. Okay.
Yeah, just
It might have come to
it's a
console
Steam.
later,
It's the
but-
place where nobody gives a shit about achievements.
Yeah.
Some people do.
Well,
but
that, like, there was a whole thread that someone linked to on Twitter where people are like, I'm going to wait a month or two just in case, because if you log into the game before the date for the achievement,
yeah.
you have to wait another 5 years.
I can't believe people are that, like, they want it that bad. That's like,
I
wow.
don't think anybody wants it. I
think
think it was just something that like it probably popped for some people, and they're like,
I think
"Oh,
it has the same
neat."
effect as that Reddit thing about being snapped from earlier this year.
Being snapped. What is that?
The Thanos
thing. There's a whole subreddit about people wanting to get snapped out of it, snapped from existence.
Oh,
on
you just want to
subreddit.
be a part of it.
I think that's what it is more than like people actually caring about
the achievement. Okay.
And to know that if you would have waited like a week, and now you have to wait another 5 years because you opened the game.
Yeah.
Man, that's fucking crazy. I can't honestly, like, 5 years ago, I see how a developer got away with that. I don't think a developer would get away with that in an achievement. I know 5 years isn't a huge deal, but that makes a big difference when it comes to achievements. I think a lot more people are fond of achievements and trophies, especially now. I think that would have not gone over well in 2018 like it did in 2013. You know what I mean? I could be wrong.
It goes along kind of with the tone of the Stanley Parable.
Does
though.
it?
Like
Okay.
if you play, like, it's not a very serious game. It is very kind of comedic and lighthearted, and well, in some ways, but. So if you play the game, you kind of
It's still
it
dumb.
goes along with it.
That's
think
just
it's,
a dumb achievement.
It's silly. I would say it's silly.
I think it's a really smart marketing move.
Is it? Do you think
Like-
you
like-
think that developer had that much forethought?
Why would you make this achievement if not for that?
Well,
like that's
do you-
such a weird. Like,
well, do you honestly think people are going to go download the Stanley Parable today and then wait till 2023 to do this? 2022 to do this.
I would suspect that. I would guess that people probably, because I even had this thought. I was like, "Oh man, the Stanley Parable."
You were going to do it, weren't you?
Well, I wasn't going to do it for the achievement.
Okay.
I was mostly going to pick it up because I was like, "Oh, I remember people really liking that game, and I want to try it out."
Okay.
And so I almost bought it, and I was like, "That's stupid. I'm never going to get to it.
Sure,
There's so much shit coming out." So I would be curious to see like how much of the sales
spike.
spiked.
If it spikes at all today
I'm
or
sure
this
it did.
week.
If you can get your 5-year-old game back into the headlines, like
I was
that's
gonna
pretty
say,
good.
So
you know?
I would have said, is it going to spike? Because Red Dead comes out, but it's not a PC game. The only thing I would say that won't
and
spike
it's probably
it,
like $2 or something.
yeah, that won't spike. Oh yeah, that's true too. Is the Fallout beta? The Fallout beta
Yeah.
comes out on the 30th. So
I think it's just
I
so
don't know.
cheap that people might be.
Yeah,
willing
maybe,
to buy it.
maybe.
Like it's one of those games that's safe because it's like $5 now.
That's so stupid.
I got some sad news here. While discussing people's apathy towards voting, former U.S. President Barack Obama said that he doesn't care about Pokemon. Quote, "Look, I don't care about Pokemon, but that doesn't mean that it won't keep coming back," end quote. While that may be true, it might just be the worst thing a president has ever said.
It's very true.
And the internet exploded.
Yeah, as soon as a president goes, I support Pokemon, they'll get my vote.
How weird is it that a
So
president
if Trump,
No. So let's rephrase that. Yeah.
How weird is it that a former president, even said the word Pokemon?
It's a little weird.
It's a little strange that
Yeah.
he's like,
it goes along with Obama though.
It's a little weird.
He called himself. I don't think he called himself Iron Man, but I think he made a joke that they were like working on like an Iron Man suit at one point.
I'll never forget that video where he's trying to dump, like he puts the cookie in the glass and the cookie's too big and he goes, "Thanks, Obama."
Yes.
Every time I think of him, I think of that stupid video. Yeah, there's nothing much to talk about there.
What a
thought that was
cool
That's
funny.
just
guy.
cool. While it's cool that he said Pokemon, it's disappointing that he doesn't care about it.
Yeah. Again, the worst thing a president has ever said.
Sure. Maybe second worst. Let's see.
The first live event for Assassin's Creed Odyssey was scheduled to begin on October 16th, 2018, but was delayed by Ubisoft due to technical issues. Once they do go live, these events will allow level 30 and above characters to take part in limited time contracts that will reward them with epic and legendary rewards.
I think I did one today.
Oh, did it?
It's
finally
live?
come out?
I think. I don't know. There was there's bounty contracts, and that's the only way you can get the money to buy like Ubisoft store stuff in game. Not in game. So you can buy Helix credits with real money, and that's how you buy shit from the actual Ubisoft shop. But there's like a merchant in game.
You can earn them. Right?
Yes, you can earn random chances at something from that pool of stuff.
This is like loot boxes.
Yeah, kind of. And the currency to get those loot boxes is orichalcum. And there was one for like 50 orichalcum, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I found it was a legendary ship that I had to go take down, and I got a new like ship skin. It's really cool looking. I think that was it.
I don't think that's it. Cause
Maybe not. I have no fucking clue.
I don't think there's like a price gate behind it. I think it's just an.
It's
event
not
that's live in
it's
the
not a
game.
price gate. Like you just go grab the bounty, and that bounty just awards orichalcum.
Was the bounty? I think I misunderstood. So you did the bounty to get the orichalcum to do the random roll, which got you the ship.
No. So take orichalcum out of it.
Okay.
That's just an extra reward you get for this bounty. But the bounty sent me on a small little quest to go find a level 50 ship. And I killed the 50 ship, and I was rewarded with an extra ship skin, which was legendary, which was the exotic legendary ship skin, and the orichalcum. So I don't know if that was the live event they're talking about, because it was never there before. So I don't know.
Maybe. I tried to look to see if anything had gone live, and I didn't see anything.
The way they were talking about live events are nowhere near as cool as Origins. Nowhere near as cool as Origins. Because
that's if that was a live event. Right?
If that was a live event, because the Origins live event had you go fighting gods of Egypt. So like the first one, you go to this specific. It's called the Desert of the Gods or something like that. It's literally in the middle of the Origins map, and it's like a few hundred meters, a few thousand meters of just nothing but desert. So when you're there in the game, you're just like, this is weird. It's weird. It's just all desert. But when the live events happen, you literally fight a giant Anubis and a giant, Ra and all these other things. And it was a really cool boss fight, and you got some super cool rewards for it. I was expecting that, but I don't think the live events in Assassin's Creed or Odyssey are like that. I just don't know.
If you did one.
If I did one, sure. If what I did earlier was not a live event, then that's fine. I got a really cool ship skin from it that I'm using. But I think that was a live event because they talk about the bounty contracts. You just go grab a bounty contract and you go do it. So, and you rewarded with legendary items. I did all of those things.
Yeah.
So
sounds like
this could be the live
event. Sounds like you did
yeah.
a live event.
Yeah.
Looks like this wasn't a live event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like you didn't do a live event.
Yeah, it sounds like they haven't announced the new date yet.
Okay. I know one of the live events was literally just supposed to be a new mercenary that you can go hunt down, which that's not fun.
His name is Damascus.
Yeah, sure. But it's just a mercenary. Okay.
Maybe there's like a twist. Maybe he turns into a god.
Maybe. I'm already at the top of a mercenary list, so why do I need to go hunt this fucker down? I don't get it. Give me a cool wall. Yeah, I don't want to spoil Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but you technically already fight gods.
I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, not really.
I assumed.
Sure. Looking at Assassin's Creed Odyssey from just a base perspective, you would be like, oh, that's when it happens. It's like, whoa, that's cool. Not something I assumed that was going to happen.
Gotcha. I assumed getting the spear tip of Leonidas and being able to mega kick people.
Yeah, no, you have that at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, but I figured eventually you would fight a god.
No, you don't.
No?
I mean, you sort of fight gods, but not really. You don't fight gods. You fight, nope. You become a demigod because of your lineage, but you don't fight gods. You fight Greek monsters, let's put it that way.
Speaking of fighting gods, over the past couple of weeks, we have seen a lot of different signs that a new Diablo game is in the works, including the potential name leak and the Blizzcon 2018 merchandise. However, it seems that fans may have to wait a while longer for a Diablo IV announcement. A post on the Blizzard forums reads, quote, "We've seen a lot of rumors flying around about our plans for Diablo at the show. These are very exciting times. We currently have multiple teams working on different Diablo projects, and we can't wait to tell you about them. ... when the time is right," end quote. The post goes on to say that the company does plan on announcing some Diablo-related news at the show.
Blizzard also lies.
Yeah.
Blizzard lies quite a bit.
You sit on a throne of lies,
Yeah.
Blizzard.
Well,
Essentially.
that kind of got me thinking, okay, this might not be Diablo 4, but maybe this is a different Diablo game.
Sure, maybe. It's a Diablo trading card game. Like we said last week.
Are they making a Diablo show?
Possibly.
Maybe. I don't know.
I didn't have time to look this up, but I was talking about this with a friend at work, and he said something about that title that got leaked, the Diablo Reign of Terror or something like that. He said that's probably going to be the name of the Diablo show that's being made. I was like, I have not heard of a Diablo show being made. So
I kind of feel one of the things I don't understand why developers aren't more comfortable with sitting with their games for longer. There's really no reason why Diablo shouldn't have gotten a second expansion. It seems silly that it got one expansion a year or two later, and then they never made another expansion for it.
Probably because they had to fix the game, right? They had to fix that whole loot system. That probably took a year for them to figure out and get right.
So it looks like there's a rumored Diablo show coming out on Netflix. Nothing confirmed. So maybe that's a show.
Maybe it's gonna be another anime like the Castlevania one,
which apparently is really good. I've been meaning to watch that, but maybe. I keep forgetting.
But Blizzard lies a lot. I remember Blizzard saying Titan was not a new IP. That's why everybody thought Titan was WoW 2. And then Titan was Overwatch, a brand new IP from Blizzard. Get the hell out of here. They lie a lot.
Well, they lied that it wasn't an MMO, and it was an MMO, and then they canceled it because it wasn't working, right?
Yeah.
And then it turned into Overwatch.
Something like that. But they lie. Blizzard's notorious for lying, which is not a huge deal, except just whatever. We've talked about the transparency in developers before. It's just whatever.
They just lie whenever there's leaks. It's like it's like they have this thing that they're keeping secret, and then people find out, and it's like, no, it's not. Basically. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
Surprise!
Exactly.
We totally caught you off guard, right?
And in slightly cooler news, probably not for everybody, but for me, there have been some leaks about new allied races in WoW, other than the ones that are already there, and one of them could be a fox race, like a tiny little fox.
That's kind of cool.
Super badass.
Like you could like playable races.
Yeah, like allied races.
It's nice they're dipping their toe in the furry section.
Sure,
of their fandom.
And the other one's like a Yuan-Ti. like a snake person. It's really cool looking.
What about the Githyanki or Githzerai?
Technically, they're already in the game. They're what would a Githyanki be? Like a troll, probably. Well, they're not any of the elves. Yeah, I'd say like a troll, maybe.
I almost downloaded it to play like just the 1 through 20 just to see how I thought about it.
It's a good game.
I'm still thinking about doing it.
It's a good game.
Now's not a good time because Red Dead comes out on Friday.
And
Sony
Fallout.
Yeah, I would probably play WoW before Fallout 76.
Blasphemy.
Sony bins. I pause real fast. The more I hear about Fallout 76, the more I feel like it's not a game for me.
Sure.
Like,
possibly.
They released a shit ton of information about the overcomplicated way that combat works between players. Earlier.
The dueling thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it's not overly complicated. Like, if you get shot at and you don't shoot back, then they can't kill you. It's not a big deal.
But, well, they still damage you.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They
do
do
half the amount of damage.
No, they do.
I don't think
they do way less than half.
Yeah, I didn't say half. It said it does.
They can't kill you. It would take a long ass time to kill somebody if they're not shooting back at you.
Regardless, like, I still think that it just, every time I see something about this game, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm not saying it's going to suck. I'm just saying it sounds like a game that's not for me.
Sure. You can't kill. You really can't kill somebody unless you try super fucking hard if they don't shoot back. To enable PvP, right? So you can be shot whenever the hell you want, and you can shoot back. There's a radio station that you just turn on, and it basically turns on your PvP flag. That's all it is. It's actually pretty genius to get rid of griefers, like, because there's of course it's an MMO, right? So there's tons of people that are just going to go around trying to gank people, but they've literally made it impossible to gank somebody, which is very good. It's very, very good for people who just want to play the game.
Can't you just drop a nuke on anyone's house though?
Yeah, but it doesn't change anything. It doesn't hurt it.
Then what's the point? Like,
well,
so you just drop a nuke, it destroys it, but it doesn't actually destroy it because you can just redeploy it.
Right, you just redeploy it from your camp. It destroys the entire section that the nuke drops on, and that opens up like
changes the terrain and stuff.
Yeah, that opens up like for a certain amount of time. It opens up like those sections become like what was that bottom left-hand corner of the Fallout 4 map. What was that called?
What the fuck was it called? Something C.
Something C, radiated C or something like that. It basically turns a section into that, and you go in, and that's basically like your kind of raids. That's how you get the best gear. That's how you do all this, and it's only available for a certain amount of time before the game resets back to normal. But yeah, like if your camp is there, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Yeah. You just go take your camp thing and put it somewhere else and redeploy everything.
And then the thing that I just can't get over that really bugs me is the fact that there are absolutely no NPCs or settlements or anything. And I get the lore reason for why that can't be, but that's just like that's kind of what you play Fallout for. You play Fallout.
That's what you play Fallout single player for.
Yes. Which is all, up until this point has been all a Fallout.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
But you kind of you play it to see like what humanity's doing and how they're struggling to survive and how they're interacting with the environment. It just seems like they just took out all the stuff that makes a Fallout game a Fallout game.
Sure, I think they did that in 4.
Yeah, but I feel like 4 is not as good as New Vegas or 3, but it's still like it didn't feel like such a drastic difference.
Sure,
yeah, I get what you're saying. It almost feels like a sandbox game in an apocalyptic Fallout universe. Like not really any sort of motivation to go out and do anything other than the fact that this is your world. Go out and enjoy.
It feels like Fallout Minecraft to me, where like I can understand why people like it and why that works for them, but to me it's like the driving forces that make a Fallout game work aren't there, and it seems like people are going to be able to do cool stuff in it, but I don't. This is not what I want.
Yeah, it's not what you want out of a Fallout game. Yeah. Absolutely, I'm with you, but I'm also on the other side of the coin. Like,
I'm with you, but I'm not.
Well, no, I am. I get it. Like, I 100% get it, and your feelings aren't alone. There's a ton of people on the internet that are just like, you know, you've ruined Fallout. It's like they didn't ruin Fallout because Fallout 5 will be a thing at some point. It's just for now, Bethesda, for the first time in their existence, decided to do something different.
Yeah.
And I think we all should kind of applaud Bethesda for stepping out of their little box and doing something like that. Maybe they shouldn't have done it with Fallout because that's such a beloved franchise. Maybe they could have done it with something else, right? They could have done it with a new IP or something. But again, I'm on that other side of the coin where it's like, all I need is a setting and player progression. That's how I play Fallout anyway. You know how I play Fallout.
Yeah.
I download mods and do the survival mode. I never do side quests. I just progress my character in ways that I want to go progress my character. I've still never finished a Skyrim main storyline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All I need is a setting, and maybe it's why I figured like I'm fairly good as a DM. I just need a setting and a player progression, and then I just go. I make my own shit up.
Just
and
free reign.
Yeah,
in
and
a
that's
world.
kind of like what this is, right? Their lore ideas is like there's no NPCs because the players are beginning these things. These players are the ones that are going to go start. What was that?
Like the Brotherhood or something.
No, not the Brotherhood. But that town in 3 that you end up nuking or not nuking. What was that? What is it called?
Town in 3.
Starts with M.
Gosh, Megaton.
Megaton. Right. These players in this game, they're going to go start Megaton. And
that's the thing that like that would be cool, but it doesn't seem like there's any like actual settlement building yet.
Yeah, but that's the thing is you can sort of. You can do that. You can, as a player, play this game so much that you have a shit ton of materials and you actually build your own trading post and you sell the things that you've collected through your journey to other players and you make this trading thing and all of a sudden you've become this trader and you're this is your settlement that you name. So when people wander into it, it literally says entering player settlement or name it or whatever.
Well,
and you can that's he's a trader and I want to trade too. So I talk to him and I say, hey, let's both set up a trading post here. And then when we run out of shit, we'll go do stuff, come back and keep selling shit. And you become a rich fucking, Alistair Tenpenny or whatever the hell that guy's name was with Megaton.
I just wish they had gone more of the, not maybe too far to that extreme, but I wish it was a little bit more in line with kind of just how ESO was. Like I really thought that ESO was sort of a very solid incarnation of what a multiplayer Skyrim, because I've never played another Elder Scrolls game. Skyrim game should be. Like you have that really strong quest structure, but you still have like this pretty decent amount of freedom for an MMO.
Sure, I mean,
and the world felt very true to kind of like that story.
The quest structure is still in Fallout 76. It's just not given to you from actual human NPCs. Quests are given to you from robots. They're given to you from terminals. They're given to you from notes that you find on the ground. They're given to you from just a monster you slay and it drops a specific thing that starts a quest. All the quests are there. There's still storytelling in Fallout 76. There's still like this huge overarching mystery of what happened to your overseer. And even off of that, Xbox Magazine came out today and said there's over 150 hours worth of quests in Fallout 76. So the quest structure is there. It's just not given to you from NPCs.
Yeah, not to keep being, I swear, I don't mean to be like a dick or keep being a negative Nancy, but I feel like part of what makes those quests compelling though is the NPC aspect to it. Like
possibly
it's hard for me to be like, why would I care about doing a quest that fell out of a monster? Like,
possibly.
What's the drive to do that? And I get that, and I get that like. I'm probably in the extreme minority, even though other people feel the way that I feel.
I don't think you are. I think it's 100% 50-50. Yeah.
And I totally get, like, I don't want anyone to hate the game because I hate it. I'm not trying to talk anyone out of it. I'm just trying to, like, find a way to formulate how I feel.
Sure, yeah.
And I like I said, I just kind of feel that same connection that I feel when people talk about, like, Fortnite or Minecraft.
Sure, yeah.
It's like, I get why it sounds cool, and I get why people are excited about it, but, like, just so far left field of what I want from
one of the
my
quests.
games.
One of the quests that I saw from and we'll end here, I guess. But one of the quests I saw, maybe it'll ease your thing. One of the quests that I saw, or a couple of the quests that I saw pop up after this, all this footage is coming out, is it's not the NPC that you're helping, it's the mystery that is needed to be solved when you find these things now. Okay. So like a quest somebody picked up, it started talking about what they call themselves. It's like a group of firefighters after the nukes went off that survived, in their bunkers came up and started trying to help people, and now there's no trace of them. So that starts a whole quest line of what happened to these guys, because there's no NPCs. We know that, so we know they're all dead, or we know something bad happened to them, or maybe in an update they'll show up. Nobody knows, right? Yeah. Or finding Brotherhood of Steel armor. It's like, whoa, why the hell is the Brotherhood here? Right? According to Fallout lore, the Brotherhood was only founded 30 years before that in California. Yeah. How the hell did they make it to West Virginia? That's that mystery of like, that's how this is all playing out. It really is, and that's not not necessarily a good quest structure. But I think that idea of the whole Christopher Nolan, like, here's an idea, and there's a mystery to get to it. I.e., what's that movie? Memento, right?
Yeah,
yeah. Christopher Nolan's great at those things. Inception, Memento, all those. Maybe not Batman. But Inception, Memento, it's like, here's this idea, I've got you, and let's get to the end together. And it's a mystery. And I think that's a lot of the quest structure in Fallout.
I'm totally willing to be wrong about it, and I hope I am, because I could use more Fallout in my life all the time.
I just want to see where it goes. I'm
totally interested to see what happens in a year after Fallout.
Next October, yeah. I want to see how they support it.
I think this game is going to look really cool like 2 or 3 years from now.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool, too, if... I don't know how they would do it, but if certain player actions, if that actually like affected the world moving on too.
Sure, possibly.
If there was some sort of let's say like a raid and you accomplished it or whatever, and that whoever completed that raid is in like the Fallout 5 lore in some way.
Sure, yeah, maybe.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Sony Ben's Days Gone has been delayed from February 22nd, 2019 to April 26, 2019.
Smart move.
According to a post on Sony's blog, it appears the main reason for the delay is to avoid the crowded February and March release calendars.
Yes.
Sure. Good idea.
Smart move.
The way they laid it out, that I totally felt like they were telling the truth about that. It didn't seem like they were delaying it because
they needed time to fix something or something like
Like I feel like I still kind of stand by earlier predictions that I made that this is not going to kind of meet the quality that Sony's been pushing for the last like 5 or 6 games. But I don't think that it's in such a broken state that they needed to delay it.
No. I think they're smart. Like, it's a brand new IP. I think some people know who Sony Bend is. Not everybody that plays PlayStation knows who Sony Bend is. And it's, like I said, a brand new IP. Plus, it's a tired IP and is in zombies.
Yeah.
When you've got Anthem, which, for the most part, that internet's on the hype train hard, and then Division 2, 2 months in a row.
And there's other shit that comes out that I
can't
remember.
Sure. I'm just thinking
those are 2 huge games.
Yeah, those are the 2 first, at least on my radar. Those are the 2 games, and I would have prioritized both of them over Days Gone.
And you have Kingdom Hearts coming out a couple weeks before, a month before that was supposed to come out.
Kingdom Hearts comes out January 29th, so end of January, basically February.
Anthem's February 22nd, and then Division's March 16th.
There was another game on February 22nd as well. It was like Metro something.
The new Metro game comes out in February? Exodus?
I think so.
Really?
I could be wrong.
I did not know that. That's not a game I'm excited for, but if Metro comes out in February, that's another game where it's like I wouldn't be too worried if I was Metro, because Metro's already an established IP going up against a BioWare game. So I don't think that people that are going to play Metro are going to buy Metro and they're going to be just fine.
I kind of feel like I would be worried about Metro.
You think?
Yeah, I feel like those are games that typically don't sell super great.
Yeah, but would you, like, take you for example, would you have ever bought Metro in February if Anthem wasn't coming out?
If Metro came out in like June and there, it wasn't coming up.
Sure, but that's a drought game.
No, but listen to my point though. Like, I actually don't see Metro in February. No, I do. I lied. It comes out on the same day as Anthem.
Okay.
Yep. See, like, that's the problem, right? Is that it comes out on the same day as Anthem. It comes out a couple weeks before Division. It comes out a couple weeks after Kingdom Hearts. Sure, not every person is going to be into Anthem, but you have so many like games surrounding it that I feel like you're going to have multiple people in your small audience, because Metro games have never been huge,
of course,
that might be willing to wait to buy it because something else that they're more excited about.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's a PlayStation exclusive, right?
No. It's coming out on so. In January, this is a really short list, which is why I can read it out. I'm going to skip the Nintendo re-releases. Ace Combat 7, Resident Evil 2 Remake, that's on the 25th, and then Kingdom Hearts on the 29th.
What is that coming out on?
Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, is that everything?
Yeah, everything.
Ooh.
And then in February, you have Anthem on the 22nd. Metro on the 22nd.
Yep.
Anno 1800, which is not a huge deal, but I know that name.
It's a PC game.
It is a
isn't
PC game.
It's a RTS. Sounds like. I feel like.
Yeah, I think so. I think is it that Ubisoft one?
I don't know. It just sounds like an RTS.
Apparently, there's not a date on it still, but Crackdown 3 is supposed to come out in February.
I think.
In March, you have Devil May Cry 5, The Division 2.
Both on the same day.
Devil May Cry comes out on the 8th. Division comes out on the 15th.
Next week. Okay.
Yeah, and then Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice on the 22nd.
See, yeah, okay, yeah, that's a stacked month, and I feel like Sekiro. Wait, is that the From Software?
Yeah.
That's not the new Sony Ninja one or
No.
Samurai one. Okay,
No.
never mind then. Just kidding.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm a huge Souls fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to buy Sekiro.
Well, Sekiro is so on the left field side of that. It's way more like anime and Japanese inspired, which is not why you liked Dark Souls.
No, absolutely not. The Souls and Bloodborne games just have some of the best aesthetics in video games ever.
And to your point about Metro, like realistically, it's probably going to be okay.
Be fine.
But I think that's one of those games that like I'm surprised that IP has another game coming out in it.
Yes, I am too. But I think when they re-released on PS4, I think they became fairly successful.
They released at a really good time when there was like really nothing else to play.
Yeah, I remember a lot of people talking about Metro.
We sold a bunch of copies of that.
Redo or something like that.
Yeah, Redux.
Yeah, I think that probably spurned the new game, but it's Metro that already is an established IP compared to Days Gone. Like,
and
I
I feel like in that fight, I feel like Metro definitely.
Yeah,
wins.
I think Sony made a good call by delaying this game. Plus, it'll give them a little bit of extra time to polish.
That's what they said
which is always
too.
another good thing.
Yep.
I still think it's so funny that Shenmue 3 is coming out in August. This is interesting. Battlefield 5's single-player mode will feature a war story from the perspective of a German soldier. DICE was quick to point out that the story is not a, quote, hero story, and the player character is not a Nazi. The story will center around a character stationed in a German Tiger tank, struggling with the goals of the Nazi regime despite their aligned interests.
That's the girl, right?
I don't know.
I think this is a guy.
Is there multiple stories then?
Yeah, it's vignettes.
It's vignettes.
Oh, they're doing the same thing
they're
they
going
did.
back to the
Okay,
vignette stuff.
okay, that's cool.
I think it's really cool that they did that. Because that's kind of like really weird stuff to tread into.
Sure.
But I have a hard time thinking about like if I was born in Germany, right? And my family was from Germany.
Okay.
And maybe one of my ancestors fought on the Axis side of the war, right?
Okay.
I have a really hard time that, in spite of all the horrible things that happened because of Nazis and that regular German soldiers were kind of complicit to, I have a hard time thinking that like I would believe that my grandfather or my great grandfather was a horrible person. Because there is that human side of any conflict or war where like they're just people.
Sure. Especially as soldiers. Soldiers don't get to ask questions.
They're just people following orders.
Especially in that time. I mean,
or even now, you just don't get to ask questions as a soldier.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I just kind of, I'm interested to see what this is.
Sure. Yeah. I think it's cool. I was going to say, to me, a good comparison is like, I saw this earlier today on Twitter. Somebody was bashing Texans because we're such a red state. It's like, yeah, but I'm not red, right? I don't support that son of a bitch. But you've grouped me into these Texans. Like, whatever. It's kind of the same thing, right? We are all Texans. We probably have family members at some point in time or that currently do support Cheeto Head. But that doesn't necessarily make them bad people. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely have family that supports him, and I know they're not bad people, but they're still on that side of the fence. It's just, it's weird.
Yeah.
Based on what little information we have about this story, it sounds like it would be. To me, it sounds like it would be one of the more compelling stories that would be in the game.
Cool.
It doesn't sound like it would be your typical. Here's your good guy, here's your bad guy, root for this person. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of internal conflict.
Which is cool.
Yeah, I like it.
That's one thing Battlefield 1 did really well, right?
Those vignettes are awesome.
Yeah, they delve into the human psyche more than they delve into the whole like shoot guy, right?
Yeah, they have this one where you just play as this pilot, and it kind of starts out where you're like running through the trenches to get back to I forgot to his side. Right, because he's in the German side,
sure.
And he's trying to get back to the English side, and so you're like running through these trenches and trying to like get through it, and it's really really hardcore. And then you have these awesome scenes where you're like flying around, and then like the final thing is you're fighting on a fucking blimp, and so like there's like this story about kind of this cocky, arrogant pilot, but it's also set on these awesome set pieces.
Sure, yeah.
That. You have like the realistic running through trenches kind of side of thing, and then fighting on top of a fucking blimp as a regular person in World War I.
It's like what made to me like Modern Warfare 2. Did you guys ever play through the beginning of Modern Warfare 2?
Oh, yeah.
You are on that submarine, right? You kind of like, it was that 1. I think it was 2. You're in this helicopter, and the guy's there with a cigar, and for the time, the graphics were amazing. That was Modern Warfare 2. And you jump in, and you go into this, and you infiltrate the submarine that ends up sinking because you fucking blow it to shit. Yep. You're trying to make it out of the submarine while shooting. It's like, I'm pow, 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 shoot, shoot, shoot. Evil Russian bad guy, bad. But it's still really cool because I'm going through this narrative of like, I'm never going to be in a trapped, stinking submarine. And it's super cool that I'm doing this right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like... Yeah, that's super fucking cool. Yeah.
Was it a submarine? I think it was just a ship.
No, it might have been a ship. Might have been a sinking ship.
That's the one where you're running through and it ends with you like doing the cool jump off.
And the ship's basically capsized, so you're running on these railings inside the ship, almost like sideways. It's super fucking cool, man. Yeah. It's disorienting.
Water effects are splashing on your screen.
Yeah, it's really cool.
In Mass Effect Andromeda, they have a mission like that where you're in a cat ship. And they keep messing with the gravity, and it's really cool because they literally like flip the environment, so you're like running on the side, and then you're running on the ceiling.
Super fucking cool. Yeah. But it's just those realistic settings where it's like there at some point in time in history, a group of dudes probably did this, probably infiltrated a ship to sink it, and tried to get out before it took them under. Right. At some point in time, and
pretty badass.
Or like thinking about it in a realistic way, right?
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
I think it's Modern Warfare 3, where the game opens up and you're on like a I don't know, one of those boats that like is inflatable almost, and it has a motor on the back.
Yeah.
And I think you're off the U.S. coast, and there's like a war going on, like as you're like kind of like going to do something. And I don't remember what you're doing. I don't remember anything else, but I remember that scene of just like seeing the U.S. and modern weapons just fucking going off and shit exploding in the background.
Which, you talk about this, and it's like, I think I've always thought Call of Duty single-player campaigns were awesome. It's just kind of sad that there's not one in Black Ops 4, but Black Ops 4 looks great anyway.
Yeah. Well, anytime I think about things like that, I always think about one of the first games I can clearly remember playing a lot of was Medal of Honor, I think like Frontier or something, or it might have just been Medal of Honor. But it opens up with you're storming the beach of Normandy.
Yeah.
And
as does every game.
Yeah, right. But you get blowing out of the ship, and then people are swimming through, and you just see them getting like shot through the water.
Yeah.
And just even as like a kid, like that just I don't know, it's just stuck with me just how real and like visceral it felt.
It's that
even on like a PlayStation.
Like that
1.
same difference of like watching a movie with a realistic war versus like something like Star Wars, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the effect is different, even though
you relate you relate to something on a
visceral level,
like a visceral level, where something like Star Wars, you just relate to a character.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, that's so cool. Look at those clone troopers in the background.
You can't relate to the setting of Star Wars because there's no way to. You're never going to experience it. So you relate to a character. You relate to Anakin or Kylo or whatever. But in these war things, right? Modern Warfare, like you relate to this guy named Soap, or you relate to this guy named Ghost because he's portraying a real
regular
person.
Dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool.
All right, last on the news. Spider-Man PS4 has received a new update that adds New Game Plus and the Ultimate Difficulty. In a cheeky response to the internet's displeasure about the lack of puddles in the game compared to its E3 showcase, Insomniac has also added puddle stickers to the game's photo mode.
That's funny.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Wait, did the internet really get mad that the puddles didn't look as good as the E3?
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't that they didn't look as good. It was
there weren't as many of them.
There was a scene that they showed in the E3 trailer that had more puddles compared to.
It's so stupid, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
How people even realize that was beyond me.
I don't know. However, they missed a huge opportunity in calling their ultimate difficulty the superior difficulty.
They did.
Oh,
they did.
Man.
Superior is so much better than ultimate.
Yep. Plus, I mean, it's
Hire
not
this
just Doc
kid.
Ock superior, but there's literally a comic book series called The Superior Spider-Man. It's still Peter. Like, you just what are you doing, guys? What are you doing?
Is it still Peter?
Yeah. I mean, Superior Spider-Man was Doc Ock.
Yeah.
But there's a series of comics called like Superior Spider-Man or The Adventures of Superior, and it's Peter, something like that.
Well, also like it was still Peter's body.
Yeah, sure, and it was still
I've been
it just
listen-
made
I've-
missed a huge opportunity.
I never read those comics, but for the past 2 work days, whenever I didn't have much to do, I was listening to the
Your
Superior
job's so
Spider-Man.
fucking cush, dude.
Yeah, I know.
You were listening.
Yeah. It was like somebody who
What
was.
do you mean you were listening?
There was a YouTube channel where a guy was basically just going through all of Superior Spider-Man, just breaking down like.
Oh, he
seeing
wasn't reading the comic.
He wasn't reading the comics, but he was explaining.
Story.
It was like
I
a
was like-
full like in depth.
It's like, dude,
Just read the comic.
I was like, dude, that would suck to listen to somebody read a comic
Yeah,
book. That would be really
I also
hard.
feel like when people like try to describe what happens in a comic, they miss a lot of shit.
I agree.
I feel like
he probably missed a lot of stuff, but I really enjoyed the way he described it because
Do you agree now that Superior Spider-Man is probably the best Spider-Man?
yes,
Yep.
which
after Ben Reilly.
it also helped. It also helped that the guy who was explaining it also had this pretty much same viewpoint as you. Is like he did not really like Spider-Man, and then whenever this kind of story arc came out,
Sure.
he was like, "This is a much better Spider-Man
Oh, yeah,
than
absolutely.
Peter Parker is
Yeah.
himself." And he explained like why and stuff. I was like, "This makes so much sense."
I love Superior Spider-Man. I really wish that. Actually, I haven't read Superior Octopus, so I don't know if he has the same idea, but I know he works for Hydra, so it probably isn't.
No, he doesn't work for Hydra.
Oh, he doesn't? I thought he
No, he actually was working for Hydra during when Cap was
did.
Hydra
During his whole
president.
thing, too. Yeah.
But after that, he gets a job at Horizon University, which is the labs that Peter Parker worked at when he took over Peter's body. All because his girlfriend is working there now.
Is he trying to do good as Doc Ock, or is he still a villain?
I don't know that his motivations are really clear.
Okay. Is it like Venom type thing then? Are we borderlining Venom now?
No, I think it's more. I think it kind of lines up with what you're thinking about Otto at the beginning of Superior Spider-Man. Like he looks like he's functioning like a regular person, but you're kind of just waiting for the shit to drop.
Okay. For him to cause it?
But you're waiting for him to do something fucked up. Like you're
Okay,
waiting to
see, that's
figure out
not-
like what the long game is.
Sure, but that sounds really cool though. Especially if he's on the path of like even semi helping people.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a redemption arc, but it's like you're working for Horizon, you're going after this girl that you were in love with when you were
Sure.
Peter. But like, what are you actually doing? What's the
Sure,
bad
sure.
part of this? Like,
Sure.
when is someone going to tell me the bad news? You know?
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Because I know it's only a few issues in right now, isn't it? It's like maybe 10 to 11 issues
Actually,
in.
I don't think the Superior Octopus book is out yet.
Oh, is it not? Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
but he's made like
Little
Dan Slott
mini
kind of
arcs.
settles him at the end of his run.
Yeah.
All right, guys, MPDs finally.
Spider-Man.
Let's jump right on in. For the software at number 10, we have NHL 19. For 9, we have Super Mario Party for the Switch. Which
Wait,
has,
what month is this?
This is September.
Oh, that came out in September?
I think it ends on October 6th.
Oh, okay.
Super Mario Party on the Switch, which doesn't include digital sales. At number 8, Destiny 2. At number 7, Forza Horizon 4.
Destiny 2 Forsaken?
No, just Destiny 2. Because Forsaken doesn't technically have a physical edition.
So is that counting
The
just Destiny 2, or is it counting that Ultimate Edition?
I think the
that came out?
collector's
I think it would be
edition falls
both.
in the Destiny 2 category.
Okay, so
I think if you went and bought a physical version of just like plain old Destiny 2,
Uh-huh.
and you bought the collector's edition,
They're both-
they're in the same
Got
category.
it. That's how it made the meetings.
Just a lot of people want the Destiny 2.
That's fucking weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 7, Forza Horizon 4. Number 6, Madden NFL 19. I'm surprised it's as low as it
Are you
is.
talking about Forza?
Madden.
I'm talking about Forza. I'm actually surprised that's as low as it is.
I don't know. We'll see when we get into the top 5.
Sure.
Maybe it'll be less surprising. Number 5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which apparently I'll get into that later. I have it down here. Number 4, FIFA 19. Number 3, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. number 2, NBA 2K19, and number 1, Marvel Spider-Man.
Damn, WWE did make it. Oh, wait, no, that was late October. Never mind, just kidding.
Late October?
Yeah,
Late
I think
September.
It was late. No, I think WWE came out in October, late October, or mid-October.
Or
like
in
2 or
October.
3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, yes. But like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I think it came out before
Like
or
right
after
after
October
the
6th.
like right
Yeah,
off the cut.
I think.
I kind of feel like maybe WWE's not going to be on the.
No, I think it's
You think
always
so?
on. I think it's on at least the first month.
Maybe.
I think it is.
I would imagine the people who are going to buy it.
Yeah,
and
sure.
then it's
Which is easily 1 million people because there's a million there's 2 million people watching Raw every Monday night. So I would assume that's an easy million. Oh, and again, you don't even have to sell 1 million units to get on the NPDs. We know this. So
Keep talking for just 1 second.
Did you see Triple H Batista
the Evolution
kind of
Oh,
meetup?
yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Yes, if it has to do with wrestling, I saw it. I also saw Monday Night, which sucked.
Ric Flair?
No,
He's weird. No, I'm talking about their anniversary meetup
sure,
thing.
Yeah.
He's
SmackDown 1000.
he's weird.
Yeah, I mean, Ric Flair's always been weird.
Yeah,
He's
but
getting
just
weirder as he's older.
just
Now
listening
he-
to him talk.
Now he
is
just
just like,
feels. Now he just feels like a creepy old man.
yeah.
So something that I find interesting, maybe a little bit worrying. Destiny is number 8, right?
Yep.
In 2015, when The Taken King launched, it was number 5. And honestly, like the things that are in the top 4 are pretty much the same, except Metal Gear Solid 5. 5 is there. Also, Madden is in number 2 in 2015. So my first reaction is like, oh, it's not selling as well. My second reaction is Bungie might have fucked up by making it the PS Plus game for September.
Sure.
Like it seems like that really ate their lunch.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
of course, you
I
don't know
would
how
assume
well
that.
Forsaken sold,
Sure.
but we have a pretty good indication by looking at the trophies that it's only something like 10% of all the people that have owned Destiny 2.
Sure,
at any
which we
point.
don't know that either.
We do because of the trophies.
No, how many people actually bought Destiny 2?
Oh yeah, we don't know the
Yeah,
exact
that's what I
number,
mean. You're
but
right.
we
That's
just
what I
know a percentage
Sure.
of this random
Sure.
player base.
Sure.
So that was a little bit worrying to me.
Sure. I mean, we
but-
can also Destiny Tracker is putting daily unique players logging in on PS4 and Xbox One right at 1 million every day. So
Yeah.
that gives you. I think that would give you an idea of how many people are playing this game. That doesn't
Yeah.
give you an idea of how many people bought either one, because there could be 500,000 that just have the base game, right?
Yeah.
There's no way to know. But there's about 1 million player base on both consoles. So PC's. I think PC's smaller than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess from a that's a lot of people playing that game, but at the same time, it is a little worrying. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not hugely worrying, but I think a lot of it has to do with the grind, right? The grind that everybody wanted. And like TJ and David don't play this game. Rich doesn't really play this game
Yeah.
anymore. You know, it's because they can't.
Well,
they literally can't log into this game and make progress because of the way Bungie's made it.
Yeah, to me it seems like it's just two scenarios. Scenario number 1 is that it's really not that big of a deal. People are just playing on a PlayStation Plus.
Sure.
And some of those people bought Forsaken.
Sure.
Or the other way that I see it is the ploy of waiting a year to fix your game, quote, fix your game. I didn't really think it was that broken.
Sure, yeah.
But, quote, fix your game didn't work the second time around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not going to work the third time around. I think it's all but like confirmed that there's a year 3 now. Like I think there's some audio files that talk about shit and things that people are data mining.
A year 3 of Destiny 2.
Yeah, year 3 of Destiny 2 that is also going to come with an annual pass. So that means we won't see Destiny 3 until 2020, which I think is good. At least 2020, but
Go for like a next gen.
sure.
release.
But again, if they come out with Destiny 3 and our vault is destroyed and we lose all progress in Destiny 2 and have to restart in Destiny 3, they've killed themselves.
I mean, unless they have a really compelling reason for it. Right? Because, like,
no.
part of my thing is that with Destiny 1 to Destiny
maybe.
2, the fucking character creator is the same.
Yeah.
Like, really, really, from a character level, there are no changes.
Yeah.
It's almost the fucking same game, just with better graphics, and now the Cabal are doing shitty shit.
Yeah.
But with Destiny 3, if it's like the fucking darkness is here, and the universe is completely turned upside down, and they embrace this weird super fantasy side that they did in Forsaken, and it's, you know, fucking space elves and all this other weird
like
shit
where
that's
you
going
have
on.
like Horde versus Alliance type shit.
Maybe there's two sides, right? Like,
Sure.
But like if they do something really drastic,
Sure.
right? Because I really think Forsaken is the weirdest and coolest tone that Destiny's taken for a really long time. Like the whole Dreaming City shit is so
Sure.
different than anything we've seen in Destiny.
Sure.
Even though they're using like the same enemy type that we got 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I would be okay with you getting rid of my shit as long as the character creator's good and you have a really compelling reason for
Sure.
why my Guardian is not
Sure.
the way he is.
And as long as it's not just like the beginning of the game, like as long as they don't just start the game like that just to make up a reason for like, oh, this is why you can't do it, but then they immediately kind of like go back to old like Destiny ways.
Well, that was gonna be a point. However, it's Bungie.
yeah.
In 2 games in 5 years, they have yet to prove to me that they have a good reason for me not carrying a character over from one game to the next. And sure,
Yeah.
I agree. I do agree with you. Like
Yeah.
I do hope they turn it on their head and they give me a reason to want to create a new Guardian. But you know, it's
Just
just
like the Traveler's awake, right?
sure,
Darkness is coming.
sure.
Traveler just fucking leaves. And the Earth is like taken over by the darkness or some weird thing, and it's like weird and fucked up.
There's the Zavala side that
Yeah.
still wants to be good and follow the Traveler and use the Traveler's light, but then there's the
Yeah, people's light is getting corrupted
but
because
then there's
the Traveler's so far away.
Yeah, but then there's the Marasov side
Yeah.
who embraces both sides and embraces the darkness, and so you fight in two different. Sure, sounds fucking great.
And then you get the Jedi and the Sith. And
Sure,
then
it
it's
sounds
Star
great,
Wars.
but it's Bungie, so I don't fucking know. I don't know.
This was a record-setting month. Record-setting performances from Marvel Spider-Man, NBA 2K19, and Forza. Spider-Man achieved the highest launch month dollar sales for any PlayStation exclusive in history.
Good for them. Look at that shit.
And it's the 7th largest launch ever achieved by any game on any PlayStation platform.
Glad I
That's
could help.
crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
However, it's not unexpected. It's Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, but the fact that it's the 7th largest launch ever
Behind
achieved.
what? Does it say behind what?
It doesn't say, but that includes third-party games.
Sure.
So it's not just like comparing it to other Sony
Sure,
games.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like compared to fucking Call of Duty,
Yeah,
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marvel Spider-Man generated higher dollar sales in its launch than any other game this year and currently ranks as the third best-selling game of 2018 and the eighth best-selling game of the last 12 months. Spider-Man achieved launch month sales 37% higher than the combined launch month sales of all other Spider-Man games released since 1995. Moving on to 2K19, NBA 2K19 achieved the highest launch month dollar sales of any sports game genre game released since 1995.
You overbatted. Holy shit.
It's the best performing sports game ever.
Wow.
Since 1995. It's the highest launch of NBA 2K franchise.
That's crazy.
And then Assassin. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry. I was just there's a lot of people who
Really?
play basketball games
Sure,
like more than football.
Excuse the sarcasm, but no shit, Sherlock. It's still just weird thinking that this game has surpassed every other Madden game, and especially every other FIFA game. Because believe it or not, FIFA
true.
is probably the
I would say
most popular sports game of all fucking time.
It's also funny to me because of the microtransaction and loot box controversy surrounding
in the
2K17 and
yeah.
2K18. It doesn't seem to have affected anyone. In fact, like part of me thinks that it might be pushing people to actually purchase the game because I think it gives you a higher level of customization. Even if there is a dollar amount, like you see this with weird apps all the time on your fucking iPhone where people will spend money to like make their little avatar person have a cute prop or something.
I almost spent $5 on Ghostbusters World today because I wanted the dark blue jumpsuit. Instead of the,
I mean,
instead of the
Pokemon
cream
Go is
one.
another example of that, right?
But I feel like microtransactions like that, I don't know. And not to say that people who play 2K or Madden or anything, like not to say that they're not like quote real gamers.
Sure
but
they are.
I feel like people who enjoy those games don't really care about that as much as like people who like
but,
in like the gaming industry are like, oh, microtransactions, and it's a big deal. Like,
oh, I see what you're saying. I would think actually agree with you. I think
does that make sense?
I think people who play Madden and FIFA and NBA are more, because that's literally the only thing they play. So they spend $60 on a game every year, and that extra money that we spend on 19 different games, they just spend on packs to open up new players and all this.
That's kind of what
shit.
I was saying in a roundabout way. Is that like they obviously don't seem to care about the controversy, but the fact that there is this high level of customization probably encourages them to spend money.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Like I just
I
don't think they
basketball
keyed in
player-
on the controversy.
Sure. If I only played WWE 2K19 and that's it, I would be 100% fine with buying all the shit that you have to buy to customize your character in that game. But unfortunately,
if anything, that almost seems like a feature.
Sure, yeah, it does kind of seem like a feature. It's like, yeah, sure, I'll spend $5 extra on a costume pack or something. So yeah.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey appears at number 3 on the charts with double-digit % dollar sales growth when compared to the launch of Assassin's Creed Origins a year ago. That's crazy. Assassin's Creed Origins now ranks as the 6th best-selling game over the past 12 months.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's Origins too, not Odyssey. Forza Horizon 4 achieved the highest launch month dollar sales. What?
What'd you just say? That's Odyssey, not Origins.
No, it's Origins, not Odyssey. Assassin's Creed Origins now ranks as the 6th best-selling game over the past 12 months.
People went and bought Origins?
Yeah, I don't know if it went up or down.
Okay.
I just think it's interesting that like this was included in the Odyssey section.
That's weird. Okay. Whatever.
Forza Horizon 4 achieved the highest launch month dollar sales in Forza franchise history and is the biggest launch for a racing game on any Xbox platform in history.
Damn it, it's number 7.
I mean, it says biggest launch for a racing game.
Sure, I know.
On an
I
Xbox platform.
I just figured Forza. It's Forza. Like everybody plays Forza. I just figured it'd be higher up. But with all the sports games and shit, I understand why it's not.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's included on Games Pass. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
It probably is.
It is included on Games Pass.
Well, there you go. Another skewed number. Thanks, Microsoft.
Yeah, it probably would have been higher if it wasn't for Games Pass.
Or would it?
Or it would have been lower.
No,
we
yeah,
don't know.
I think we
don't know.
We don't know, but I think we've assumed that
the Games Pass is included
in sales. If you hit that download button, even though you're paying for Games Pass, I think it counts as a sale.
See, but that's the thing, though. Going back to us not fucking knowing.
Sure, yeah, of course.
I think the conclusion that we came to when we were talking about it with Days Gone is that when
State of Decay.
Why did I say Days Gone?
Yeah, because
State of Decay.
They're both zombie games.
But with State of Decay, I think it's the thing where Microsoft says the number, but it doesn't reflect what the NPDs say.
Sure.
So Microsoft comes out and says 15 million people are playing Forza Horizon 4, but it's the 7th ranked game on NPDs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like what percentage of those people
actually bought
it
game.
versus just played it on Game Pass?
Yep.
Goes back to like us not fucking knowing.
Because that's what we tried figuring out with Sea of Thieves as well. Because they would
Thieves Thieves.
Yeah. Because they were always throwing out numbers about that game.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider enters the charts as the 5th best-selling game of September, achieving the 2nd highest launch month dollar sales for the franchise, following only Tomb Raider, which launched in 2013, which was considered a failure by Square Enix. So,
good for them.
Or not good for them.
No, it's good that it's high, right? That's what I'm saying.
It's good that it's high, but it's the 2nd highest launch month dollar sales for the franchise, following 2013's Tomb Raider,
which was the one that was considered a failure.
Yeah, in spite of the fact that it sold like 1 million units or
Square
something like
Enix
that.
considered it a failure. Square Enix also considers anything under 1 million
disgrace.
a failure.
Well, I mean,
it's Square Enix.
They just dropped Hitman, so it kind of makes me just worried about like this, this
possibly.
Tomb Raider thing.
Also, I don't think this one's very good. Apparently, it's not like
it's
not a go out and buy right now game.
I'm
heard it was better
surprised
than
it's so
Rise.
high.
Huh?
I said I'm surprised it's so high.
Yeah,
on the...
but is it like go buy Tomb Raider over Assassin's Creed? Absolutely not. You know what I mean?
Yes, but I don't even think the first one was like buy this over other games that came out that month. I fucking hate Twitter.
Yeah.
Take that.
I had
that.
something
Twitter
saved
execs.
on here, and
Take
it was
that,
like,
Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh, and then it.
Yeah, it was like fuck you.
Oh
man.
wait, that's not Twitter. Who's he? That's Facebook.
That's Facebook.
Take that, Donald Trump.
But I'm pretty sure Twitter is partners with Facebook.
No, it's not.
Speaking of Twitter, Damien probably said the funniest thing I've ever read on Twitter.
Oh yeah, go ahead and say that while I try to fix Twitter's fuck up.
he tweeted at the real Donald Trump.
Okay.
Because
I'm already loving this.
Trump said something on Twitter, and Damien tweeted it. That's the only reason it showed up in my feed, because I don't follow Trump. But it's like, it's becoming really hard to tell whether or not you're the real Donald Trump or the fake Donald Trump Twitter account. It's like that's really funny, Damien, and it's unbelievably true. It's becoming super hard to tell whether that fake, because you've seen that fake Donald Trump account.
Yeah.
It's like it looks exactly the same when you're scrolling through your feed, except for that at whatever, and it's really hard to tell whether or not it's Donald or whether it's Trump or the fake one, because they're both equally fucking ridiculous when it comes up.
When I'm on Facebook or Reddit or anything, and whenever I see a screen capture of like a Donald Trump tweet,
yeah,
I'm never 100% certain.
I know you're never sure.
Is this a parody or is this real?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
and then I usually go and look at it.
It's 100% real. Yeah.
Well, there you
go.
Hardware spending in September 2018 fell 3% when compared to a year ago. For 2018 year-to-date period, hardware spending has increased 18% to $2.4 billion. This also includes plug-and-play devices like the NES Classic and SNES Classic.
I contributed to that. I bought a PS4 controller. PS4, not PS3.
That's hardware, not accessories.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I did not contribute to that.
PlayStation 4 was September's best-selling hardware platform in both units and dollars sold. PlayStation 4 hardware achieved the highest September unit sales for a non-plug-and-play console since the PS4 in 2014.
Oh, pretty good.
Fucking Matt Piscatella with his weird statistics. Like, I would never think to check that.
Well, it's like NFL statistics. Have you ever watched an NFL game?
I bring that up all the time.
Oh yeah, I watch NFL all the time.
Yeah, well, no, like that's what I'm saying. If you ever watch, these commentators will be like, so and so is the number one passing quarterback on October the 13th, which also coincides on a Thursday, which is the second Thursday of the month, and his percentage is higher than the sandwiches he eats on a daily basis. It's like,
you're not wrong.
What?
Like, legitimately, they do these things. Like, the last time this person's played on this field and the score was, it had a 7 in it, was in 1992.
Who cares?
It's like, what does that mean? These numbers mean nothing.
Sony's PlayStation 4 remains the best-selling console hardware platform year-to-date. The PS4 Slim System 1 terabyte was the month's best-selling hardware item in both dollars and units.
Pretty good.
Xbox One hardware dollar sales in September grew more than 30% when compared to a year ago and are now up more than 60% year-to-date.
Good for them.
Nice.
Xbox One X System 1 terabyte black is the best-selling Xbox One hardware item of the year in both dollars and units sold, which is cool.
Really, the mid-cycle console that they came out with it's sold better than the original Xbox One. I'm sorry. Read that again. Then
it's
for the year.
The best-selling Xbox One hardware item of the year.
Sorry,
which I don't think we've ever gotten that statistic about the PS4 Pro.
Well, I doubt
for
we
comparison.
ever will. Yeah, I doubt we ever will.
Year-to-date, accessories and game card spending has grown 35% when compared to a year ago to $2.6 billion. Yes, you did. This is also an all-time high, significantly exceeding the $1.9 billion generated in the 2017 year-to-date period. Yeah, that's pretty much it as far as he goes. I just want to put this out here, Matt Piscatella. You guys have a whole website for MPDs. Why do you announce the shit on Twitter? Please just make a blog post. It's not that much different.
But, in his defense, I would rather just read it on a Twitter feed than have to click through a bunch of shit to get to the thing. Personally,
I'd rather just have everything on one thing in logical order instead of having to go backwards up the timeline.
Oh, he's posting everything in
individual.
It's a Twitter.
tweets.
It's a post.
Get it?
Yeah.
Matt, if we could go ahead and just get this in a Google Doc, that'd be great.
Sure.
Yeah. Matt, could you just send me a Google Doc next month?
Just send everybody on the internet a Google Doc.
Everett, what time are we at? 1:49.
I think that's perfect.
You guys want to end it here? I still want to do that trophy topic, but next week we don't have MPDs to talk about.
Sure,
so.
yeah.
All right.
But next week we have Red Dead to talk about.
Yeah, but I feel like we'll have time because we all...
You think?
I think we all should have played Red Dead by then, and so we can just make that the beginning of the show.
I don't know, man.
We'll see.
I think so.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean...
Because online's not going to be out yet, so it's just going to be us talking about the story.
Sure. Next week I'll probably adjust the news to allow for Red Dead talk.
Oh, okay.
Rather than include a bunch of shit because I wasn't sure if NPDs were going to come out or not.
Sure, yeah.
Just truncate it a bit and just pick important stuff.
Are we keeping this part in?
Probably not.
Probably yes. No,
Okay, yeah, there you go.
you guys get to see us talk about the show.
Red Dead, however, like it literally hit me today. It's like Red Dead comes out on Friday. Cool. Red Dead Online launches in November. It launches in a month, within a month, and I'm pretty fucking excited about that.
They haven't given us a date yet, right?
I
It's just
understand
November.
that.
Well, no,
understand
but
that.
what I'm saying is November could be.
Didn't they say November 18th?
I don't know.
Oh, never mind. I
It's
was going to
just-
say November could be like 2 weeks.
Sure, or it could be 4.5 weeks. Sure, I understand.
But 2 weeks?
I understand. However, I'm really I'm really excited for Red Dead Online. I'm really excited about the possibilities of like the 4 maybe. But like the 3 of us
4.
running like a gang, right? Like a cowboy gang.
Yes.
And just doing
Cowboy
heists,
things.
yeah, missions and stuff, and like, hey, as Red Dead Online, I really need, the wolf pelts to trade so I can get this really cool thing. Let's all go hunting, right? Like that sounds really fucking cool, man.
It sounds cooler than, hey, let's hop into GTA 5. All of us looking.
No, it does not. GTA, hey, let's jump into GTA 5, steal somebody's white Batmobile, put it on a railroad track,
Always the example.
Watch it get blown up, and then somebody come pick us up in an attack helicopter as we chase each
don't
other
know.
through the fucking
I
city.
feel like
That
with
sounds
the
more
whole-
ridiculous.
With the whole like horse relationship thing, I think it would be better to steal someone's horse and then let it get hit by a train.
That's also true. Because like in Red Dead 1, you could tie people up and put them on railroad tracks
Yeah.
and watch them get hit.
I guarantee you can still do that.
If I can tie up Justin's horse and
No.
put it on a railroad track and watch it get hit by a train, I'm doing it on a daily basis.
Don't do that to Appleseed.
Are you really gonna name your horse Appleseed?
I am now.
Wait, can you name your horses?
I just did.
No, like will it pop up will it pop up like this horse's name is Appleseed? Like, was that going to happen?
I
Because
don't
if it
know.
is, I'm going to name my horse Shitface.
Oh, don't do that to your horse.
Why not?
That's
Fine.
better than Roach.
I'm going to call him Red Bull.
Right. I'm gonna call mine Monster.
Sorry.
Oh,
That's
nice.
jacked up, Ev.
I really.
I have said
can't-
Sarah Jessica Parker. If you did not hear,
I'm really looking forward to this game. Like, I'm very, very excited. And it's funny. And it could have been the time crunch that I was in, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey really feels like a chore because I really wanted to rush through it. Does that make sense?
for Red Dead,
For Red Dead. I wanted to be done with the Odyssey before Red Dead came out. And I feel like I might have done that to myself because I did give myself a time limit. I feel like if I didn't give myself a time limit, I probably would have enjoyed Assassin's Creed Odyssey a lot more than I did. But Red Dead, there's no rush in me to finish that game.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? If it takes me a month to actually finish Red Dead Redemption, I'm okay with that. It probably won't. Actually, it might. It took me fucking 95 hours to finish Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But if it takes me that long, I'm not in a rush to finish Red Dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those games where it's like Rockstar as world builders are 1,000 times better than Ubisoft is. Well, at least Ubisoft, whoever created Odyssey. I don't remember which company.
Well, I mean,
would-
they had 7 years to make this game, so I would hope they would do a better
Sure,
job.
right, but that's what I mean. Like, I'm more excited to just find those nooks and crannies that I know aren't going to hold anything because Rockstar games really don't. It's not full of secrets. It's not like fucking Skyrim of like, oh, here's a cave. There's got to be something here, and it leads to fucking Blackrock. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's not those types of secrets in Rockstar games, but I'm still so much more invested in those worlds that I do want to see where this cave goes, even though I know it's just going to walk in and it's going to be a bear and it's going to kill me.
I think it's.
You know what I mean? Like that's
bear.
what it is.
But I
Oh,
think
bear.
it's the. First of all, slight correction. There's not an official date on when the beta goes
So we're
live.
talking like maybe
Yeah.
within a
Just- it says
5-week period, we're going to get
November 1st.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna,
Calling
yeah.
it.
But I think it's the difference in setting though, right? Because with these fantasy games, like we get so many of them that of course you're like looking underground for this cool secret city or for this weird secret quest and like the fantastical side of it. Whereas
wait,
like
yeah,
you have
I
like
thought- you're not
Red
comparing
Dead's
Assassin's Creed.
No,
You're
Red Dead
comparing
has that.
Skyrim, got it.
Red
Sure.
Dead has that realistic world. Like
Yep.
we know that in the Wild West, you don't go underground and find
Sure.
a city of gnomes.
Sure, yeah,
You
yeah.
know that
A
will offer you
bugbear.
a
Yeah,
quest to take down a dragon. Like,
But you were-
it's like the the realistic side of it makes it more compelling.
Yes, 100%. But you know, but you've got like a game like Assassin's Creed, where every other Assassin's Creed, They're all based in real locations, of course. But every other Assassin's Creed, like, I could not wait to get to the pyramids in Origins. I was a giddy child when I finally got to them and got to explore what was inside the pyramids. Or like Syndicate, getting to climb Big Ben. Like, that was the coolest fucking thing in the world. But in Odyssey, it's like, yeah, the Parthenon's there. Like, that's cool, but that same exact model is used at another location and another location. They made it so big that they had to reuse so many assets that nothing was special. Nothing in Assassin's Creed Odyssey felt special when you finally got to see it. Minus a couple of the statues. Like, the statue of Poseidon was really cool to finally see. Artemis' statue was really cool to see and climb and stuff like that. But the statue of Zeus where you got to dangle on his balls, that was kind of fun. But like, nothing was like special. It never had that pyramid moment in Origins or the Big Ben moment in Syndicate, or even the when Washington crossed the Potomac. That whole section played out in 3. It was just really fucking cool to experience that in a game. I didn't get any of that in Origins, which is really fucking weird and a little disappointing. Yeah. And it might have been because I was rushing through. I don't think it was, because Ancient Greece is a really fucking great thing. I got more enjoyment out of meeting guys like Socrates.
I mean, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I got more enjoyment out of meeting guys like Socrates or Herodotus, or these really like prevalent figures in history that shaped Western civilization, right? Herodotus was probably the first person to ever write a history book. And you've got like Athens, which is literally the birthplace of Western civilization and democracy. It was really cool seeing all that, but the set pieces weren't fun.
Well, and I think part of that is because of how ancient that civilization is, right? Like,
maybe, yeah.
There aren't a lot of just because the fact that it's a string of fucking islands, a lot of that shit has just been built over. And sure, you have like a couple of cool set pieces, but like, how do you accurately represent a world?
It's true that
gone for so long.
Yeah, that we really don't have we have a good idea of what it looked like, but we don't know exactly what it looked like. Yeah, it's true. You're right.
With Egypt, like, you can kind of like do cool and weird stuff, and you have an idea of what it looks like, but the pyramids are just, and the sphinxes are just such great set pieces that it doesn't matter what everything else around them really looks like.
Which I guess goes back to the whole, like, you went too far back, Ubisoft. You went way too far back, and you didn't make an Assassin's Creed game. You just made a really cool game based in Greece, in ancient Greece, which is cool. It was awesome. I'd still give it like an 8.5 or 9 after 95 hours. It's still really high. Had a ton of fun, but it just wasn't an Assassin's Creed game. It did not give me the feeling of that every other, even 1, man. Fucking when you ride into Jerusalem for the first time in 1, God, it was so fucking cool, man. But you just I never got that in this one, and I hope. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the backlash is like me. I feel like I'm in a minority, I think. But so I don't know if they're going to learn from it. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're going to give us an Assassin's Creed that goes back to Assassin's Creed again. I don't know, though.
Yeah. I will say, though, Red Dead Redemption, one thing it does have over Assassin's Creed Odyssey for sure is gay cowboy sex.
Does it really?
And that's what I saw. I saw online that Rockstar confirmed that you can be a gay cowboy in
oh,
Red
wait,
Dead Redemption
you as
2.
Arthur Morgan can be gay?
I believe so.
Oh, dude, that's fucking cool,
it's your
man.
Dream come true.
Yeah. I mean, I've always wanted to play Brokeback Mountain.
Actually, that's kind of cool, man. If your Arthur Morgan can be gay, that's actually really cool, man.
I think that's...
Why not?
We talked about this a little bit. I think that was one of those things about GTA 5 that always kind of bugged me, was that
Michael was married.
I mean, with the 3 main characters, it didn't matter too much. Like, I mean, Trevor was bi, I guess, but Trevor was fucking insane.
Sure.
So it didn't matter. With them, that didn't bug me so much. But with the online component,
oh, I see.
It's like
you can only get chick hookers.
Yeah, there are only chick hookers and chick strippers, and
never
you can't
thought
go
about
pick
that.
up a boy.
Yeah.
Like, so even if you want to play a straight female,
Man.
you couldn't do that.
Couldn't go pick up a man.
What did I say?
Boy.
Yes, obviously.
it
I
has a
mean,
different
someone that's
connotation.
18 years older. Although, like in gay world, like boy is usually like.
Also, there were no
what do you call it, twink?
There's no kids in Grand Theft Auto.
It's true. It's where they draw the line.
Yeah, which is really weird. No, it's not weird. It's not weird. You don't want to run. You don't want to accidentally run. Well, accidentally, you don't want to run over children when you're mowing down pedestrians on a sidewalk.
Maybe you do.
No, I don't. I'm not sure.
I'm not saying you. That's it.
Sure.
Hypothetical
maybe.
you.
Sure, maybe. There are definitely kids in Red Dead because Jack's in it. And Jack's like 4 or 5, something like that. So there's kid models in there. If they're going to be walking out on the street, I have no idea.
It's like it's there for the cutscene.
Yeah.
As soon as it's over,
am I going to accidentally shoot a child in a shootout? I have no clue. I hope not, because that's
I'll just tear
terrible.
you up inside.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, now I really want to find this article.
About gay cowboys?
Yes, about gay cowboys.
Anyway, so if there are gay cowboys, are you going to, I don't want to say reap the repercussions, but being gay in 1890 was, I mean, you get shot for that shit.
Yeah, I
You know,
feel like
is that going to be something you have to deal with, or is it just like an extra thing?
I feel like the whole wilderness side of it, like, probably gives you like some places where you don't have to worry about.
Okay, sure. So you don't have to worry, as from a gameplay perspective, you don't have to worry about those.
Yeah,
choices.
like it's not like you and your cowboy boyfriend are gonna be walking around holding hands in the middle of town.
You guys are both on your horses, like holding hands off their horses, riding next to each other.
You're walking into town and you have like your hand in his back pocket. Just
matching spurs.
It's really funny too because in the old gay world, something that people would do is they would get colored handkerchiefs and they would put it in their back pocket, and that was a symbol of shit you were into.
Sure, yeah.
And cowboys like kind of made handkerchiefs like a big deal.
well, that's where the term like putting a feather in your hat.
I have no idea. That Yankee Doodle?
Mm-hmm.
That's a gay thing?
The Yankee Doodle is derogatory, even though we use it. Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, put a feather in his hat, and called it
So
macaroni.
is the pony a guy and his macaroni is his penis?
He's he's getting prettied up and
There's your cold open.
He's getting prettied up to go to a gay bar, basically.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, but us Americans are like, yeah.
Yeah, Yankee Doodle America.
Woo!
Woo, I like macaroni. It's good shit.
I got a feather. I got a hat.
Yeah. Also, handkerchiefs for cowboys. That was it was more to signify. It was to signify which gang you're in. Like the red handkerchief was the cowboy. Like they were part
The
of the
Bloods
cowboy.
and the Crips and the
Sure, yes.
I found a link to Gaming Circle Jerk, and it says, "Breaking news: Red Dead Redemption 2 will respond according to the buttons you press on your controller." I don't know why, but I thought that was so fucking funny.
Especially since it's on Circle Jerk.
yeah.
Well, especially
Revolutionary gameplay tactic by Rockstar.
especially since
Buttons
there's
work.
just that like thing where like it's kind of like if Red Dead Redemption 2 was a person, if he just like farted, someone would like report on it. Like,
It's true.
This just in, Red Dead Redemption 2 farted.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is the Kim Kardashian of the
It's
gaming
true.
world.
This just in: Red Dead Redemption pooped, but there was nothing in the toilet when it was done.
Oh.
Mystery.
Who's Red Dead dating now? Let's find out.
Are you finding this thing, or did you dream it, Trey?
No, I can't tell if
Aw.
it's a prank or not.
Oh, that's
Why
annoying.
would it be a prank?
That's because it's the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. It's to give guys like Trey hope that Arthur Morgan is.
Oh, no.
Maybe online.
I'm convinced that this is a prank now.
Lame.
Dang it.
I lean on the side of lame. However, it's Rockstar, right? They have a story to tell. If he's not gay, he's not gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just one of those things.
But if that was
But like, it's okay. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is not affected by the fact that by whether or not you play a gay protagonist or a straight protagonist.
but it wasn't a big deal back then.
It doesn't matter. Like,
It kinda
we are
matters.
playing in a fake fantasy world. It doesn't matter if it's based on a realistic period. Gay people have existed throughout history. So, like, pretending like the reason why a character can't be gay in history is because gay people weren't allowed. It doesn't matter. There were still fucking gay people.
Sure.
That's why the whole handkerchief thing exists.
Sure.
Like,
But
I don't care. Like, it's not a matter of me getting mad about it. It's just that, like, I guess the thing that frustrates me when this conversation comes up is the justification for why that's not there. Like, let's just say it's not there and like drop it.
okay.
Not you. Just
No. But so if it's not,
Hypothetical you.
so if it's not there, maybe. But that's the thing, right? We have to go on assumptions again, Because maybe Arthur's married. We don't know, right? Maybe he has a wife and kid that he's doing this for. So it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense if he was gay. But if that doesn't play into it, if Arthur's just a guy who's working for Dutch, doesn't have a past, doesn't really have a future, has something you can mold, then yeah, if you leave your story that open, then use it. And again, like I 100% agree with you. The Assassin's Creed thing, it really is like it just didn't matter back then. Like it's like you could be gay, but it just did not matter whatsoever.
And if you look back at
actually, and to be completely honest with you, in ancient Greece, the term like gay didn't exist. If you wanted to stick your penis inside a dude's butt, you just did it. Yeah, there was no bi, gay, am I straight? There was nothing like that. There's sex with sex.
Well,
it was manly to have sex with other men.
God, I cannot remember for the life of me. I cannot remember the protagonist's name in the first Red Dead.
John Marston.
Like John Marston, he was married. He had a wife, right?
Yep. Had a kid too.
That was set at the beginning of his story. But to me, it felt more like a reason, like for Rockstar to avoid the weird prostitute shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was part of his story, and it like tied into what he was doing. But like, the romance part of that wasn't a part of the game, and they completely removed it in every aspect, including like picking up a woman of the night. I don't know, like, and. The funny, like, I think part of the reason why
you couldn't pick up. You couldn't pick up.
Yeah, they would walk up to you and you would turn them down.
You would turn them away. That's right. Yeah.
And that was cool. Like, that was a cool story element. I guess for me, like, part of the reason why I'm frustrated, and I guess like part of the reason why I kind of jumped off the handle a little bit, is just the thread where these guys were talking about how it sounds like it's a rumor. It was sort of this thing of like this, like how fucking ridiculous and dumb is it that people would believe that a cowboy game would have gay people, and it's just like.
It's not ridiculous and dumb.
And it is. But
I believed it whenever you said it. I mean,
but it's also the same thing where it's that same argument about like playing a woman protagonist in a history game, right?
Sure.
Like, what does it affect? It's a fake world. Like, if you want to play the more historically accurate version of this game, then be a straight cowboy.
Sure.
Right? Because the majority of people back then were probably straight, or at least pretended to be straight.
Sure.
So yeah. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, again, it would be super cool. However, I think, if we're assuming, if anybody, I'd give Rockstar the benefit of the doubt to if you're not gay, if you can't play a gay character, it's for fairly good reason. You know what I mean?
I kind of feel like going back to like that GTA 5 conversation. There's a part of me that kind of sees this weird homophobia in Rockstar.
Really?
Yeah, because like even Grand Theft Auto 5, like they really don't touch on it at all.
The story.
Or even like in the multiplayer, right? Like there's no like you can't even like get a pride flag for your I don't know, fucking motorcycle or club or our house or whatever.
You can get they have pride stuff in the like you. I mean, it may not be specifically pride stuff, but there's definitely rainbow things in the shops. I don't know if it's necessarily there to support pride, but they're there.
I don't. But like, look at like Spider-Man, right?
Okay.
There are pride flags in New York.
Sure.
Being gay has nothing to do with that game, but it's an expression.
Sure.
And I guess the other thing too, like, there's also a good probability because up until that point, I hadn't considered romances at all in Red Dead. So maybe there's just not romances.
Well, there never is. There never is romances in Rockstar's games. You don't go. That's not a. I take that back. In GTA 4. There was definitely
people.
Things where you could date people.
Yeah,
but that
was
not
a common thing.
It wasn't a common thing. And Rockstar games,
San Andreas, that was a story.
Yeah, and Rockstar games is not necessarily a common thing to go do. So I don't know. Of course, I'm going to stand on this fact that it would be really awesome if it's in there. Yeah. But if it's not, I feel like if any game developer, and this doesn't mean they get a pass. Mm-hmm. I just mean if any game developer has a good reason, I feel like Rockstar can support that reason and it still not be like a huge deal.
I guess like thinking about it first, like if there are no romances in it, of course it doesn't matter, sure. Right? But I still kind of hold to that weird feeling that I have about Rockstar's a weird homophobia, and I don't know if maybe. I don't know if that's the right word to describe it, but it kind of feels like in that family.
Yeah, maybe.
It definitely leans more towards the the sexualization of just women in general. I mean, just look at the loading screens.
Yeah.
There's
Sure.
no sexy men. It's only gangster men and then women with like super low cut revealing bikinis and stuff.
Or
like,
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, well, and I
Does
guess
that really go over your head?
What do you mean?
Oh my god!
I
never
guess
mind.
Gay Tony's a character, and
Yeah.
but like
You get to
He's
see
like
his,
a parody
you get to see
character,
his
right?
penis. No, he's not a parody character. He's
No?
a huge character in Grand Theft Auto 4. Like huge.
he's also in 5 Online now. I
And
don't know.
you get to see his penis too in 4. Just saying.
I feel like Gay Tony's kind of gross though.
Oh, he's totally 100% a scum, but
Yeah.
it's still like it's there. That whole actually that whole in Grand Theft Auto 4, that Ballad of Gay Tony, that whole story revolved around a lot of I don't want to say gay pride, but it was definitely represented.
Yeah.
The gay community was represented in that.
I think I just need to. I think I need to think about it, but I do think that there's something to be said, especially in the case of Grand Theft Auto 5. Like,
Sure.
There's not. I don't know. It's weird.
Sure.
It doesn't matter. I don't know about that either.
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
to think about this a little bit.
Yeah, it's the same. Like the first thing that came into my head was Witcher, but
Mm-hmm.
like it's really hard to do that because like it's so based in a book that's already been established that it's like, well, would Geralt ever go for a guy other than Yennefer or Triss? Like, I guess he could, but like
Yeah.
it's so established that Yennefer's his like one true love. And so, like, why would he ever be, gay or something like that?
I think by the time. So first of all, you have the fact that there's a history of books that fit into this continuity and lore.
Sure, yeah.
But
It would be like somebody making a game about Anakin, and you can
Yeah.
romance a guy as Anakin Skywalker. It's like,
I feel like
anyway.
you could have that opportunity in the first game, but by the third game, like that dynamic
Sure,
is
yeah.
so ingrained
Sure, yeah,
that it
yeah,
almost
yeah.
doesn't make sense
Yeah.
for Geralt to be
Sure.
gay at all.
Sure, but they
or,
did.
or maybe he's bi or whatever, but like at least not. He's obviously trying to choose between two committed
It's not
relationships.
something that you pursue in game. But
Yeah.
I mean, I actually thought Witcher 3 did a really good job with the whole that one guy that you meet at the very beginning of the game where he's basically
Yeah, yeah.
exiled because he's gay. Like, it's a really great little quest line.
I think that's the thing too. Is like even like and you totally have this opportunity to make like
Sure.
these crazy parody like gay characters, right? Like fucking drag queen. You could put a drag queen in Grand Theft Auto 5 and they
Easily.
would fit so easy.
Yep.
I don't know. I need to think about this. a
Maybe,
little
yeah,
bit more.
you could be 100% right. I have no clue. I honestly, I don't know where I would stand on Rockstar being, and we're not calling Rockstar homophobic. We're just saying there's an
They
underlying,
exist in
like,
a family of homophobia.
sure, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We're on
because-
to you, Rockstar.
Yeah, and maybe it's true, dude. I have no fucking clue. I'd have to
100
go back.
This
and,
100-hour work week is just a cover for the real.
I'd have to go back and think about
beef.
because I played every Rockstar game since GTA 3 at least. From start to finish, 100%. I'd have to go back and really think, like, was there any interactions representing gay people other than, like, Ballad of Gay Tony? I'd have to go back and think. There had to have been something in San Andreas. There had to have been. That game was fucking huge.
yeah.
But I don't know.
Now, yeah.
Vice City, there had to have been something in the 80s in Vice City. There had to have been.
Yeah,
I just don't know.
I like the thing that just sticks out to me, that the fact that you just can't like buy a Pride shirt
Sure.
in GTA 5
Sure.
online.
Yeah.
That really like, because there's so much expression. That's what it's about. It's all about expression.
It's very true.
So.
There's a big purple dildo in the police station in the GTA game. It's kind of
Is that true,
That's
or are
Saints
you thinking
Row.
about Saints Row?
no, that's in GTA as well. Not 5, I think San Andreas
Oh.
or maybe Vice City.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I
if
know
you go
that-
into the police station, if you go into the
Oh,
bathroom,
but
by
it's
the,
an actual dildo.
it's a weapon.
Oh, really? Are you sure nothing is Saints Row?
Mm-hmm.
I know because in Saints Row there was a dildo bat, and it was like the size of a bat, but it was a big purple dildo.
It's also in GTA. I
Oh,
think GTA did it
interesting.
first.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know. I didn't know it was in
I
Saints
feel
Row.
like I feel like Saints Row did
Yeah,
it
San
first.
Andreas purple dildo.
Oh
weapon.
yeah, you're right. San
Although
Andreas
it
did
does
first.
okay. Like, to be fair, it kind of just looks like a purple stick.
But we knew what it was.
Sure.
And
And
it's a double-sided dildo.
and
too.
Saint, oh, I remember it now, but it does. It just looks like a smooth purple thing with two kind of like balls at the end of it.
Also known as a double ender.
However, The dildo bat in Saints Row 100% looked like a penis, had veins and kind of like balls.
Yeah,
and
the thing was like
everything.
huge too. And they made a real prop of it, and Jim Sterling has it. And occasionally in his
Why
videos,
did
he's
Jim
like,
Sterling have it?
of all people
Yeah,
that would have a
I
huge
guess.
dildo bat.
Yeah, I guess.
But like at the start of his videos, he'll like sit there and like slap his hand with it. It's
That
huge though.
In his Gymquisitions, that should be his gavel. He should just flop it onto his freaking thing.
I think it looks like it's like
Yeah.
3 feet long too.
Well, dude, it's supposed to be the size of a bat. So, yeah, it should be about 3 feet long.
Yeah.
That's funny shit.
If you guys like what we do, please rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher. Nope, not on Stitcher. Google Play Store and on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at Twin Stick Radio or on Facebook at facebook.com/Twin Stick Radio.
Fuck Stitcher.
Yeah, fuck Stitcher. All of us are on Twitter as well. I am at Darth Trey. Chris is at Short Change Hero. Justin is at Justin T. Lopez. The show is produced by Everett. Give him a follow on Twitter at the 56th. And the theme song is by Connor Manning, who works for Downstream Studios. Give him some love. I'm taking over editing now, but he did edit in the past. So yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
I want a pink handgun now in Red Dead.
Did you ever? Did you unlock the?
Oh yeah, the golden revolver. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's why I want the $100 edition. I don't want to miss out on any customization. I know that's so stupid. I understand. I am part of the problem. I get it, Justin T. Lopez.
Yeah, look at this motherfucker.
Oh, he really does have it.
What is this? Oh, why is he smelling it?
You shoved it anywhere.
I understand, Justin, but I want it all. I want the Pancho Villa look that comes with the Ultimate Edition. I want the black. It's just like a weird, like it almost looks like a Southern Mexico type looking outfit. It's probably not Pablo's. I feel like it's Pablo Sanchez. I feel like that's the name of the outfit.
Pablo Escobar.
Or Sanchez or something like that. I want it, Justin. I want the black thoroughbred horse.
And you deserve it.
Red Bull, because there's a Red Bull right there.
Yes, I did.